And we are live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, mainly gentlemen. I know some ladies come into the stream, but it's pretty rare. How are you guys doing? Welcome to a beautiful Monday here in California. And we have an epic stream planned today, man. We're uncovering so many different things. Obviously, the main basis of today's stream is how to bounce back from a breakup. But we're also going to go into the UFC. We're going to go into politics, talking about Ukraine and Russia. We're going to go and react to Myron Gaines's new video where he goes against like 15 Israelis in the middle of Miami. It's fucking crazy. And he absolutely obliterates and cooks them up. But yeah, just proves it proves the point of what we say more towards that. We're also going to do a review on the Wizard Trees, which is a new strain of his. It is the Wizzy cross the Black Magic. So excited to try this one. And we're also going to try the Aquanaut from Eazy. I actually have an Aquanaut, a Patek Aquanaut. I should have wore it for the stream, really. It would have gone perfect. But yeah, I was a little bit in a rush. I was working hard on making sure that today's stream was epic, especially the how to bounce back from a breakup. So yeah, got loads of gems dropping for you guys. And then that's pretty much. We're going to be reacting to a few videos. We're going to be talking about next week's UFC, this week's UFC. And yeah, let's start off talking about this week's UFC. So guys, as you know, it was Maycee Barber against Erin Blanchfield. And there was a last minute, like last second cancellation, right? Where Maycee Barber apparently... she had like a fit, you know, probably coming from her trying to make weight. I know she was struggling to make weight the day before. She literally went and weighed in about 4 or 5 times. So eventually she made weight, but she probably struggled to go through to make that weight. So yeah, she had a fit apparently, and she what's the word I'm looking for? Not a fit, but yeah, she like collapsed and she wasn't able to fight. But it kind of goes back to what I've said before, like why women deserve less, because it's like, for fucking sake, for one time in a long time, we made sure there was a women's main event. I even talked like heavily on it. I even said, you know, there's one place that I actually rate women is in MMA. I think women's MMA is still very high level. And, you know, I said about Maycee Barber and Erin Blanchfield being a great fight and me looking forward to it and it being well matched. And what the fuck happened? Literally 2 minutes before the fight, it gets fucking cancelled. So, yeah, I know Dana's probably fuming right now. And I think it's going to be a while until we see a women's main event. Dana's probably definitely pissed about it. So, yeah, I think the Gamrot vs. Klein fight was good. Happy to see Gamrot go get a win. The next up, I want to see Gamrot vs. Benoit Saint Denis. I think that's going to be a well-matched fight. I think those two are the two guys that are maybe not elite enough to go become a champion, but elite enough to beat everyone who's trying to make it into the top 10. So I definitely want to see Benoit Saint Denis against Gamrot next. I think that's going to be a good fight. We see Dustin Jacoby against Bruno Lopez. Dustin Jacoby's been obliterating people lately, knocking them out early. You know, that's someone who, again, I don't see him becoming a champion, but he's definitely a problem for that division, and he's definitely got heavy hands. So, yeah, big up to Dustin Jacoby. And Jon Jones, that's another thing I wanted to speak about. Obviously, Jon Jones didn't fight last week, but they're talking about Jon Jones is going to retire now and he's going to give up the title. But then new news comes out today saying, no, Jon Jones is actually going to fight and the fight is in works. At this point, honestly, I'm fucking sick and tired of this bullshit. And I just want to see Tom Aspinall just go fight someone else. I think, like, him just waiting so long. Jon Jones doesn't want to fight, man. It's clear. Jon Jones does not want to take risks. He doesn't want to give opportunities to fighters who are younger than him. And he's just not on it, man. He's just not on it. He doesn't have a champion mentality. So, yeah, I want to see just Aspinall moving on and going and finding a new fight. And another thing in UFC talks is I saw some news about Sharabullah and Khamzat Chimaev, who, you know, one of them's from Chechnya, one of them's from Dagestan. I know those two regions have had beefs in the past, but it seems like, you know, they have a lot in common, them both being Muslim, both being Russian. And apparently Sharabullah has got a great relationship with Khamzat. And from what I heard lately is Khamzat and Sharabullah got into a street fight in Russia, where 4 Russian men were acting tough and like shoulder barred Sharabullah. And apparently people were getting put to sleep after that. And, you know, I can only imagine Khamzat and Sharabullah absolutely knocking guys out on the street. Them two being together, they're a problem. And I reckon even if you're in a group of 10 guys, if you guys can't fight properly and you guys ain't killers, you know, you guys are going to struggle against Khamzat and Sharabullah. So if only I had a camera to go and see that fight on the streets, that would be crazy. So guys, you guys know you see me lately. I'll do two reviews on the stream. I kind of start off with a review of like the lighter strain, let's say, a strain that I'm just gonna roll up and get it going. And then I'll do a strain at the end. So the first one we're gonna do is the Wizzy cross the Black Magic. I'm just gonna roll it up and then we're gonna go back onto reacting to videos, etc. And then later on, we're gonna do the Aquanaut by Be Easy. So while we do that, I'm gonna put up a video for us to react to. So we're gonna react to. So the MMA community went a little bit mad on Khabib. I don't know if you guys are aware, but in the Islam culture, it's not really like if you're a married man, you don't really shake hands or hug with women. And, you know, Khabib was getting a lot of shit because he was at a football game. It was the end of a football game, and he was there with Aisho Speed. And, you know, Aisho Speed was trolling, talking shit, acting like, you know, he was telling Khabib that he would give him a good fight in MMA. It's like, bro, Aisho Speed, I would make sure I'd make weight. And I know you're way bigger than me, and this ain't going to happen. Maybe it might happen in the future. Bro, I could literally just dish out slaps against you and I'll tap you out within like 30 seconds. I know you think you're like some little athlete that does like, you know, backflips and shit. But bro, when it comes to MMA and fighting, I've seen you boxing and shit. Like, you're soft. You're not down. You're not about it. Like, and Khabib could literally beat you up with no hands. Literally, he'll just use his shoulders just to beat you up. The fact that you actually, I know you're probably trolling, but yeah. So we're going to go to that video and we're going to react to that one. Trev, can we just pull it over to the laptop, please? Yes. So here's the video of, oh yeah, we need sound on this. I don't know why the...
Try and just click it up on the button.
Handshake from a female reporter and then proceeded to shake the hands of all the men around him. The woman apologized for her mistake, not knowing that Khabib's Islamic religion doesn't believe in a man touching another woman unless it's his wife or family. Here's what the MMA community had to say.
Do you know what, bro? I low-key agree with him. I actually fucking do. I low-key agree with Khabib. Like, if that woman ain't your family and she ain't your woman and you're married and she's married, like, there's no need to touch her, man. Even a handshake. It's like, bro, I don't need to shake your hand.
Some guys, some as advertised. Honorable. It's a respect to his wife. He doesn't touch other women. She apologized because she saw that he declined her gesture politely. Speed's face when Khabib refused a handshake. She already knew he wasn't going to shake her hands. He was renowned for being a devout Muslim. She deliberately did that to set him up for drags. Thankfully, Khabib could never care less. Khabib just refused a handshake, but you never post Conor McGregor aggression against women. Why? Khabib respectfully declining a woman's handshake is causing drama. What a world we live in. It's not like it's offensive even. He refused a handshake because he's a married man. He reserves his body strictly for his wife. The levels of control Khabib has is something people will never understand. There's nothing civilized about a society that's fine with women being half naked, but finds a man refusing a handshake disrespectful.
So true, bro.
She was Islamophobic. So
true. We've got women showing their buttholes on Instagram, fucking on social medias. We don't say nothing. We don't bat an eyelid. But as soon as Khabib doesn't want to shake a woman's hand, fucking hell, that's some misogynistic shit. Anyway, back to it.
Kate apologized because she felt it was the right thing to do. The double standard is wild. It's not ignorance at this point everyone knows Khabib's values. The handshake thing feels staged for clicks. Even Kate Abdo must have known. Feels more like a setup than a genuine moment. And it's getting boring now. Ian Gary talks about a potential Islam Makhachev fight. Several things have to fall into place before a showdown.
All right. And then this is another thing that I wanted to uncover. Check this out, guys.
Materializes. But recently, Gary made it clear.
And look, I know a lot of you guys know that I don't like Jon Jones. Why don't I like Jon Jones? Well, I've said it before, right? He's a coward. He's done a lot of shit outside the octagon, like beating up his missus in front of his kids, hit and run on a pregnant woman, taking cocaine, getting done for steroids. Like, it's like unlimited amounts of things outside the octagon of what he's done wrong. But even in the octagon now, I'm fucking cooking him. Doesn't want to fight. Fights old people like Stipe and a guy like Gon who's easy work. Doesn't want to fight real contenders. Even on these way up, he fought a lot of guys who were washed on the way out. And then when he got towards the end of his career, he lost against Dominic Reyes. Like, there's loads of things that I don't like Jon Jones for. And once upon a time, I did love Jon Jones. I did love him as a fighter, not so much outside of the octagon, but I thought, yeah, he was definitely one of the GOATs. I still say he's one of the GOATs. I just don't respect him the same, and I do think that his legacy's been tarnished. But I've said it before, he's definitely sus. He's definitely GAY. He's definitely fucking batty. He's definitely getting his batty fucked. Like, Jon Jones is definitely on that spectrum. Don't believe me? Go watch MMA Guru's video of him breaking it down in the past when he's gone to the comedy club. But now we've got new accusations. Check this out.
Jones accused of serious allegations by UFC ref. Jon Jones was accused of allegedly performing an adult act on a male commissioner without his consent before one of his fights, according to former UFC referee Big John McCarthy. And before we continue, we have a favor to ask. Help us reach 200,000 subscribers on MMA Zone by subscribing and turning on notifications for daily MMA content. Seriously, we rarely miss a day. He claims that Jon jokingly had the commissioner get on the ground where he pretended to do an explicit act on the commissioner and then asked if it was illegal if he did it to an opponent. Here's John McCarthy explaining the situation.
But when I went into John's locker room, he's bouncing around, he's having a good time. So I got a question for you. I said, yeah, what's your question? And he says, I need somebody. And there's an individual there, and that individual was a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and was working for the commission. And he says, is someone getting on the ground for me, right? And so this guy, being a ground guy and being someone that was, man, I'm in Jon Jones' locker room. This is great. And so he says, oh, I'll do it for you. He says, I know I'm wrong. Just put me in guard, right? And then Jon decides to do a
what? What did he say?
Is this? And so he goes down. He says, just put me in guard, right? And then Jon decides to do a
what?
saying, what if I do this, right? This isn't illegal, right? And the guy who was on the ground, quickly his eyes went, as big as they could get.
That guy on the ground was like, Jon Jones, why are you gay? Why are you gay?
Person up. And he goes, I'm just joking.
I'm just joking, yeah.
Could you do it? I said I could disqualify you for being unsportsmanlike. Go ahead and do it. Let's see what happens.
I don't know what he did, but it sounds like he did some queer shit in it. I don't know what he done exactly, but I don't know why they censored it.
Max, different than some random commissioner in the back, a random fan, a random person who's working as an usher or something like that. You're like, yeah, get down here, and you do it to some person you've never met before. It's just,
that's why Greg Jackson comes up to me and says, John, I'm sorry you did that. And I go, Greg, it ain't you. And I go, he's just a...
Yep. I mean, like I said, a lot of the choices that he's made throughout his life is directly affected, I think, how people perceive him.
Cooked, bro. Jon Jones is cooked, bro. That was crazy. And look, at this stage, it's like, how much more proof do we need to know or see that Jon Jones is sus? And, maybe that's why he was beating up his wife, man. Maybe he just wanted a man. And, his woman couldn't give him that. And he's, like, pissed off. He's like, fuck's sake, fuck this fucking vagina. And beat the shit out of her. Fucked up guy, man. But, all right, cool. We're going to move on from Jon Jones. And I've got a video to play you guys. So, one sec. So, this is a video, guys. A woman talking about her husband, right? And this is going to go into us talking a bit later about the breakups and women in general and female nature. But this is an example of literally like the worst kind of wife and kind of woman you can have. So this is a woman here saying the 4 things she doesn't do as a married woman. Now we're going to see a before and after. And you guys are going to love this shit. I did. I found this very entertaining. This actually made me like put a little brightness in a part of my heart because I love seeing women face accountability like this because most of the times it's the guys that have got to face accountability, go through the hardships, etc. But check this out, guys. Switch it up. All right, one sec. I don't know why it's quiet for. Oh, here it is. All right, cool.
My husband will be. Number one, I do not cook for.
All right.
So there's a few things that I don't do as a married woman. Number one, I do not cook for my husband. I only cook for my children. My husband will be making his own breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Number two, I do not help him pay any bills. So if he is short on the rent, on utilities, or anything like that, it is not my problem. I will not be helping him out. His job is to provide for his family, so I am not financially contributing to any of the bills. Number three, I do not do his laundry. I have my own laundry and my children's laundry to do, so he could do his own. I won't help him put it away. I won't help him fold anything. That's his responsibility. Number four, he is responsible for replacing any of his essentials like soap, shampoo, anything like that. He needs to go buy it himself. Even if I'm at the store, I will not be replacing it for him. If he needs new underwear, new socks, or anything like that, that's for him to do. I'm not going to do it for him. I'm not going to enable a perfectly grown adult, because then they get used to that shit. So, no.
All right, cool. So you guys saw a wife talking about things that she wouldn't do for her husband. So before I give you the reaction of what happens after, bro, she's fucking useless. She's literally useless. Like, she sounds like the type of woman that's not even giving the vagina for the man whenever he wants. So literally, what the fuck is she there for? Like, bro, why do you have this woman in your life? And you know, this is an old video. I think it came out around a year ago, and I heard the guy saw it. And this is how it worked out, guys. All right, cool.
Worky. Can we cut the nonsense, please? This is just,
All right, one sec.
making all these. She's absolutely.
I don't know who this is. Fucking.
Or just straight up leaving.
Ah, bro, one sec. I need to find the actual video. Because yeah, this doesn't end like you guys. Oh shit, fuck. Ah, bro, I can't find the fucking video. All right, cool. So guys, I'm trying to find the video. I should have had it up already, but I don't know why I can't fucking find it. Woman says she don't cook for her husband, crying after divorce. So yeah, basically this guy saw the video and he probably thought, bro, what the fuck? Fuck this fucking bitch. Oh, bro, why has it gone back to this fucking gay video, man?
To sit respectful as hell. That's exactly what I. So the title of the video is
You better.
Oh yeah. Here's the video, guys.
Crying, you know, making all these posts talking crap about me. Like, imagine if you had some friends, guys, or if you had a girlfriend and she would just jokingly bash you on the internet all the time.
And imagine, like this, like, I don't know, weird ass channel, like the cartoon guy said, imagine being that man's friend and seeing your wife going public and viral talking about she don't do shit for you. Well, this is how it ended.
I don't understand what part of this is.
All right, bro, hurry the fuck up. No one wants to hear your fucking AI shit talking.
Behavior. Let's run it back and continue.
He does deserve somebody better, and I hope and pray that he finds someone better. I didn't know that me making that video was gonna, upset him so much, and it made him realize what kind of piece of shit woman I really am.
Amazing. This is great.
I don't know what to do. And this should be a wake-up call for women that are like me. Please make sure you bow down to your man.
Nah, that's real crying, I think.
You cook for him.
Oh, she's crying though right now.
That you know, do his laundry
Oh, okay.
or anything like that.
Maybe.
Because he could kick you out any time of the day. So please.
Yeah, it sounds to me like
Yeah, that's right, guys, and I can't wait to get off this whack YouTube channel. But yeah, that's right. The guy kicked her out, filed for divorce, and moved on. And that's exactly what you guys should do. Because I know a lot of you guys, I don't know, some of you guys watching who do have girlfriends. I think in general, majority of guys who do have girlfriends, not all, I'm sure there's guys out there that have great wives, great women, great girlfriends, but majority of women, I know a lot of women don't do shit for their husbands, or if they do, it's the bare minimum, and they don't do it with passion or like they want to do it. So yeah, this woman tried to flex, go out like, you know, flexing to the world about the things that she doesn't do for her husband, and she found out the hard way. Amazing. Amazing. All right, cool. So, you know what? I just wrapped up one of these Eazy Cross Black Magics. And we're going to do a quick review. I'm not... Actually, you know what as well? We're on Instagram. I know a lot of people are watching... Well, actually, no. There's 10 people on Instagram. Guys, I'm going to move on from Instagram. So, everyone watching right now, come over to YouTube. The Natural Effect Podcast. Type in the Natural Effect Podcast on YouTube. Come over and yeah, join the stream here, man, because we're coming off Instagram right now. Okay. Okay. All right, cool. So yeah, so guys, as you guys have seen, I've been smoking a lot of wizardries lately. I'm not gonna lie. You know, a lot of the things that have been around lately have been hot and cold. Like I told you guys before, with canna, it's a plant. You're not always going to have the best batches. It's always going to be some batches better than others, you know, positive batches, negative batches. So lately I have been toking on a lot of wizardries because it has been very consistent and he has brought out a lot of new flavors. So this is the first time I'm trying the Eazy Cross the Black Magic. And I actually don't know... I don't have a clue about what it is. I don't know if any of you guys in the comment section, in the chat, want to let me know. What is the Eazy? I know the Black Magic was a secret strain that Wizardtrees made, but I'm not sure what the Eazy is. Let me just type in Eazy Wizardtrees strain. All right. Eazy lineage, Z flavor. Not really saying what it is.
Somebody on YouTube asks what the cross is for the Taroni.
For the Taroni, it is biscotti cross... Was it lemon cherry cross biscotti? Yeah, biscotti cross lemon cherry. Okay, so the Eazy is actually... I'm actually on Wizardtrees' website, I think, and it's not really telling me... Actually, I'm on Excel. Yeah, it's not telling me what the Eazy is. But I'm sure someone in the chat is going to find out and let me know what the Eazy is. So, all right, cool. We're going to review it either way. So, as you guys have seen the packaging before, I think the packaging is really dope. I think Wizardtrees has one of the best packagings. Gives me the whole space feel, mystical, magical, wizard, you know, like a wizard kind of vibe. Yeah, I think it's cool. Here you guys can see it's like a purple rocket kind of, you know, like gives me like, you know, like what's the ball? Like a futuristic ball that they, like a crystal ball. Yeah, it gives me that kind of vibe. So yeah, I love the packaging. I think I've rated the packaging before. The packaging, I'll probably give it like a 9.4. I think it's probably one of the best packagings out there. And then the smell of the bud. Let's decide what the smell is without even having a clue what it is. Probably the best like this. Okay, so I can definitely smell a lot of Skittles. A lot of Skittles. I can smell Z. I can smell Z, but I can also smell like a little bit of like... Is it like Zope? So it's got like the sweet terps, but it's got the Skittles terps as well. I think it's going to be a fire smoke as long as it burns well. So yeah, smell wise, I'd give the smell a 9 out of 10. Again, you know, Skittles with a little mix to it. Perfect for me, you know. I like sweet terps, but I do love Z. So a cross between those two, I can tell it's going to be really good. The look on the flower, Colourful, nice structure, covered in trichomes. Yeah, I'll give the look an 8.8 out of 10. So we've got 8.8 on the look, 9 on the smell, and 9.4 on the packaging. Now it's the important part. We're going to spark it up, and then we're going to go back to the reviews. As we do that, is that what it says? Yeah, the Wizzy's just Z. Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, it kind of smells a lot like Skittles. Makes sense. So, guys, you've seen, I uncover a lot of politics here. Ukraine and Russia gone deeper into war now. Ukraine put out like a drone attack with NATO on Russia. And, Putin ain't going to back down from this. And this is just going to escalate. And unfortunately, I've said before, hate war, hate seeing innocent people, children dying. It's not needed in the world. And yeah, man, it's unfortunate. So I've also broken down the whole Russia and Ukraine conflict. I might do a deeper dive into it in the future just to give you guys a complete analyze it from top to finish, tell you guys how it started, who I think's in the fault, why it started, do I think it's going to end, who's more powerful, who's winning the war, etc. So yeah, for people who don't know, Ukraine and Russia are going deeper into war right now. So, do you know what? Where do we have? Yeah, it was funny. I wanted to show you guys the video Speed.
Khabib Nurmagomedov surprised everyone on the CBS debut. He was there watching the PSG.
Bro, it's crazy to see Asho Speed there. He's there with like Thierry Henry and Khabib. What a guy.
And he was really happy to see him as well. He was surprised that he came out of nowhere.
Oh my God! Khabib, what's up, man?
Asho Speed's gas. When me and you gonna fight? Bro, Asho Speed's lost his marbles. Speed's funny. He goes, Khabib, I've seen videos of you playing football. It wasn't the best. Yeah, I've seen Khabib playing football. He sucks, but at football, that is.
So you can see, like, Khabib came out of nowhere, and everyone was like, what is happening here? And Asho Speed was really happy, standing next to the legend, Khabib Nurmagomedov, and this was the moment when Khabib Nurmagomedov is now stepping in the football world.
Fucking hell, man. Some of these YouTube channels that I click on are literally run by retards. Like, bro, just play the whole thing, man. All right.
You think you could beat Speed in a fight or a race?
In a fight.
Yeah.
A fight.
What do you mean a fight?
I'm gonna be honest and humble. I think he's better than me running, but football IQ, I'm much better.
Wow. Football IQ.
Khabib said he's better at me running, but football IQ, I'm much better. Yeah, bro. I've seen Speed playing football. Like, Speed is terrible at football. Terrible. I know they put him in like celebrity games and that, but bro, like as a Brit, as someone from London who's been playing football my whole life, like Speed sucks at football. Maybe he's good for an American, but in general sucks.
I seen the clip of you playing football.
Okay.
It wasn't the best, I'm gonna be honest, and my skill level is better.
Don't forget, between us is nobody right now. In my world, right?
Look at Speed's face. Speed knows. He's like, oh shit. So yeah, Khabib had to drop a little threat on Speed. Yeah, this is talking well, man. Wizardries, bro. This guy never fails, man. Big up to Wizardries, man. For real. He's always killing the game. Definitely very Z-ish. Like, even if you told me this was a straight Skittles and it was already rolled up, I would be like, nah, man, I can taste something different, something else in it. But like the beginning, like the first things you do taste is just straight Z. So yeah. Guys, for everyone watching as well, if you guys have any chats, no, it doesn't have to be no money sent in. Anything to say, just send it in and Trevor will call it out. Anything you guys want to ask me, anything you guys want to comment. In the future, We are working in the background where I'm going to have the chat in my face. I'm going to be able to interact with you guys constantly. But please, yeah, go drop a like, subscribe. Even if you're watching it on Twitch, Kick, Rumble, open up a tab, please, on YouTube and just give it a like, man. It helps us go up the algorithm. And right now, I wouldn't say like, you know, I'm giving my all into streaming, but I'm definitely putting a lot more energy into it. So if you guys want to see more streams from me in the future, support. Let's get it up the algorithm. Let's get more people in the chats. And that's definitely going to push me to give you guys more value and stream for longer as well and more often. So I'm also working on a network. I'm working on a network amongst young men all the way from, you know, all the way from California to the whole of America, Europe, an international network of young men who want to work on themselves and become better financially, physically, mentally, socially, with women across the whole board, basically. And in this group, I'm going to have a Patreon where I'm going to be dropping many gems. I'm going to have a lot of life advice for you guys. I'm going to be bringing on a lot of people from different areas and topics of, you know, different topics of life, whether it's crypto, businessmen, real estate, watch experts. I'm going to keep bringing on different guests and giving you guys value. So I'm going to be bringing out that network within the next month, I'll say. We're going to have this network up and going. It's going to be busy on, not Telegram, on Discord. And eventually there's going to be a Patreon where it's going to be giving you guys tons and tons of value with different tier lists. So I want to react to another video right now. And then I'll finish off the review. So I don't know if you guys saw this, and you know, we are going to talk about Israel and Palestine today. The reason we're speaking about is because one of my favorite YouTubers, as you guys have heard me talk about him before, Myron Gaines, actually had a big debate against like 15 Israelis in Miami, and it fucking absolutely went off. Like, you guys are going to watch the stream with me. But before we go on to that, I want to show you guys a video where an Irish fighter fought an Israeli fighter. Check this out, guys. All right, so as you guys, I'll play it one more time. I don't know if you lot caught it. So as you guys can see here, it's a Irish fighter, which you guys know Irish people are definitely very pro-Palestine, as I am myself. And yeah, he's fighting an Israeli guy. He's landing down the elbows. And you know, it's nothing personal to this Israeli guy, even though it does look personal, right? But the same way war looks personal right now, it looks personal when they're killing 100,000 innocent people. So I'm sure this Irish fighter doesn't hate the Israeli guy. I don't think the Israeli guy said much about Palestine previously or nothing. But, you know, he's from Israel. The guy's Irish. And as he's raining down the elbows, he's screaming in his face saying, free, free Palestine. So, look, like I said, maybe this Israeli guy is anti-Israel and, you know, he's just a Jewish guy who doesn't believe in Zionism and, you know, but it's unfortunate, you know. You're gonna have to just take it on the chin because your people are doing wrong things, and if Jewish people don't come out and call out their own people, this is only gonna get worse. So yeah, big up to the Irish fighter. He actually brought out a Palestine flag at the end as well. So all right, we'll click off that, and yeah, we're gonna go into the important stuff now. I'm going to put down the joint and get serious with you guys. So we're going to talk about breakups, right? Just before I do the breakups, let me finish this review quickly. So the burn on the Wizzy cross the Black Magic, I'd say the burn is a 7.4 out of 10. And then the taste, yeah, I'd say the taste is like an 8.8 out of 10. So overall, I would give the Wizzy cross the Black Magic, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. And you know, you guys know I'm kind of harsh on all my reviews, so that's still a great review. Even though I wouldn't say it's my favorite Wizardry strain right now, burning brilliantly, smooth, tasty, looks great, great packaging, fresh, nothing really negative to say. So I'm going to put these nugs back in the packaging, and we're going to get on to the serious stuff now, right? And then I know, and I'm hoping that a lot of the guys who were messaging me, because a lot of you guys have been messaging me on Instagram, going through a lot of breakups, just went through a breakup, not happy with their women, not navigating well in the dating market, not understanding women. Even I posted up today a guy called Fred, you know, messaging me in my DMs like, oh, bro, you see women as a toy, and, you know, we have equal life experiences as humans and all that. Like, bro, shut the fuck up. You're just a little libtard. You're a young kid. You don't know shit about life, and you really don't understand women. Now, do I turn around when women want to date a guy who's strong and tall and a provider? Do we sit there and say, well, he's not a fucking bank account. He's not a private security guard. Don't treat him as an object. No, we just understand that's just a man's role. But as soon as I say standards and boundaries on a woman's a toy. And you have white knights like this fucking Fred guy, who's obviously a simp, who doesn't understand women, probably doesn't even get much pussy, come out and try back women. So, it's not about, I'm not going against women. I'm just calling out the fuckery with women and the truths of how they think and how they navigate in dating. So, and I know I had a lot of guys, reply to that guy Fred saying, bro, this guy's fucking clueless. And Fred, if you do see this clip, if you do see the stream, you're going to be back within 6 months to a year, maybe 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is, you will be back, because you're obviously a young guy who don't understand female nature, don't understand what they want from a man. And let me tell you, yeah, I am sexist. I'm not misogynist. I love women. I think women should be provided for, should be protected. But I don't think women are on the same level as men. Hence why we should protect them and should provide for them, We're stronger, smarter, we have more energy. We get our fulfillment from conquering the world rather than having a family. So that allows us to go out there and work harder. Women tend to be a lot lazier. And yeah, I'm basically going to break down the whole bouncing back from a breakup. Okay, so for everyone watching, why did she break up with you? That's what we've got to start off first with, right? Before we even go to how to bounce back from a breakup and how to choose women in the future and get into the best version of yourself, first you guys need to understand, why did she break up with you? Why did she end the relationship? And listen, no one's safe. I've only been in one relationship in my life, and my ex broke up with me. However, it wasn't really kind of like that dynamic, because, she was very quick to come back, and I kind of didn't really accept it fully after that. So it kind of bit her in the arse. But my point is, even in my personal anecdotal experience, I got broken up with. And, I like to think apart from height, I have pretty much everything that a man needs. However, it happened to me, and I'm going to explain to you guys why it happened to me, why it happens to men, how to avoid it, and how women think in general. So, a lot of times is that you're slacking, right? You also got to take accountability. We can't just blame women for everything. A lot of times you're not the same man that she met. You're not as exciting. You're not planning dates. You're not keeping her on her toes. You're not giving her that dominant sex. You're not teaching her nothing. You're not as funny as you used to be. A lot of times the man slacks and becomes comfortable. And a lot of times it comes from the woman. Women can make us comfortable. And that's why you need to avoid that. Don't follow your woman. Make sure you're the leader. Have frame, you plan dates, everything's on your own terms, and I guarantee you, in the long run, she's gonna find you more desirable and stay with you rather than breaking up. So that's the first thing, right? Women need to be emotionally stimulated. So us guys, we're pretty simple creatures. As long as you're fucking me well, sucking my dick well, giving me a clean home, a great environment. Nice meal every day, a little bit of creativeness when it comes to the food, little massage here and there, I'm a fucking happy man. I'm so happy that I'll go and make money for you every single day, bring it back to our family, and I don't need you to make a penny. As long as you are an asset and not a liability in the relationship. Now, a lot of times we put women on pedestals. That's another reason why women fall out of love or lose respect for men, or even from the get-go. A lot of times you see guys call women beautiful from the start. Oh, you're amazing. Oh, you're so unique, telling a woman all these things. These things are going to go against you guys. And let me explain to you guys why. Women are very mental creatures. And if a woman ever thinks that she's above you and, basically you like her more than she likes you, you're pretty much fucking cooked, bro. Your woman has to like you more than you like her. It doesn't work the other way around. When we love and admire women, we don't get bored and think, oh yeah, she's beneath us, so I'm going to leave her. But that's exactly how women think. If a woman thinks that you can't lead her to greatness and she's better than you, she's better looking than you, she can do better than you on the dating market, yeah, it's going to be soon to be the end. That's the truth. So never put her on a pedestal. That doesn't mean you don't call her beautiful. That doesn't mean you don't buy her flowers. That doesn't mean you don't take her on cool dates. But she has to earn that, right? And it has to come in the long run. You can't just give that up front from the very get-go. If you give it from the get-go, what's she even going to look forward to in the future? And as well, you're putting yourself beneath her. So plan cool dates, as she shows her worth to you more and more, invest more into the dates, more time and energy and more finances. Buy her flowers from time to time or whatever you want to do, a little gift, and call her beautiful and give her compliments here and there. But you also got to keep your woman on her toes. Good to have banter with her. Diss her from time to time. Even if it's in a serious way, I don't mean diss her as in put her down, but, call her out on her bullshit. If there's something you don't like and you see that you don't like, instead of just putting it to the back and thinking, nah, you know what, I'm not going to start an argument right now. Just tell her in a way where you communicate well, assertively, but upfront. So another reason is she wants a better option. She thinks, like we said, she thinks she can do better on the date market. And a lot of times is she's found someone. And you guys are thinking, what? She's cheating on me? Well, guys, women are different, right? What women do is a lot of times women who are in relationships with men that they don't respect, they might post up promiscuous pictures. They'll never post you up on their Instagram. No one from the outside will ever know that she's got a boyfriend. So she keeps her options open while still having you entertain her and having her in a relationship. And a lot of times she might be getting attention from guys who are better than you. Maybe they're better looking, they have more money than you, better shape than you, more knowledgeable than you. And, she might not want to be harsh to you up front. So, she just keeps that open. Maybe she gets compliments and likes that compliment from that guy. Maybe she drops a few compliments from time to time, So guys, a lot of times women have so you guys understand, women have way more options than men. Your average woman gets hit up every single day, whether it's on the street or Instagram or any other social medias. Women have tons of options. Why? Because when it comes to sex, men are not that picky, right? In general, men are not that picky. I would be happy to settle down with a 5 or 6 out of 10 looks-wise, as long as she had all the other tricks to go along with it. Women don't really think like that. Women are much more picky than men are because they have more options. They pick who they date. We just take the best option of who we have. That's the truth. Women pick who they date and we pick the relationships in the long term. So women have the key to sex. We have the key to a relationship. A woman decides when you're going to fuck her, right? But we decide after that, you know what? Is this a girl that I want to take seriously? Or is this a girl that I'm going to fuck a few more times and just leave her back to the streets? That's how men think. So a lot, you guys might be triggered watching me thinking, what do you mean? She's got a better option. And yeah, bro, simply she might have a better option. So that's why I advocate for not having your woman have social media and being able to go out to places where single people go. And I'll explain that a little bit further on down the line. We're going to go back into that. So another reason to why she might have left you. You don't have a purpose. she doesn't see a future in you. You know, women are almost like gamblers. With us, we want to know about a woman's past. So when I get with a woman, I want to know how is her past, because that dictates her future, how she's going to move, how submissive she's going to be, how much respect she has for men. And frankly, I'm not going to get with a woman who has a big past, because that's going to embarrass me as a man, right? She is a representation of myself. So if I have a hoe as a girlfriend, that makes me look like a weak man. Very simple, right? So just like we care about a woman's past, a woman cares about a man's future. And a lot of times, women, they break up with men because they just don't believe in your future. A lot of times you might be attractive to her. You know, you might be funny, you might be charismatic, but if she doesn't see a future with you, and she thinks you're not going to lead her to no greatness, you're not going to be able to provide for the family, she's just going to leave your ass. That's the truth. Women who don't believe in a man's future, they're going to leave your ass. So that could be another reason to why she broke up with you. And because of what I said before, women having so many options, men who are higher tier men are still willing to fuck average women. Remember what I said? Higher tier men, the 1% man, is still willing to fuck, maybe not take serious, but fuck an average woman. So what happens when that happens? The average woman thinks that her dating value is way higher than what is, because she's sitting back and she's like, raw, like I just had an NBA player just slide into my DMs, and or I just fucked an NBA player, or I fucked an American footballer, or I fucked some entrepreneur who's got some clout and money. Like whatever it is, when women get have casual encounters with men, instead of them understanding what men are like, they're like, oh shit, this is my level now. Like this is like my bare minimum. This is the kind of men that I should be dating. And women always want to level up. Women don't ever want to really go down. They always just want to get better, right? They always want to date better. Hypergamy. You guys can go research that yourselves. So, yeah, simply, guys, women have a deluded... they're delusional when it comes to their value on the dating market, and they simply just overvalue themselves. So that's another reason why she maybe left your ass. And that's why you have to become the best version of yourself, which we're going to go into a little later. And the last things are too comfortable. Like I said to you guys are getting too comfortable. Maybe you're not planning interesting dates. You're not keeping her on her toes. You're not fucking her with the same veracity that you first was. It could be a multiple of different reasons. You're not making as much money no more. Maybe you're fatter and out of shape, not as fit as you once was or when you first met her. So, yeah, that's another reason. And another thing is, guys, a lot of times women don't want to break up with men, even though 80% of breakups, yes, 80% of breakups are initiated by women. However, women still don't like to be direct and break up with men. What they'll do is they'll say it in a way where, you know, they'll push you to your limits. They're going to be insufferable. They're not going to do nothing for you. They're not going to cook for you, right? Just like this woman who had to find out the hard way. They're going to simply be a fuckery wife until you turn around and maybe you cause a argument or say something, and then she'll be like, well, you know, if we're not working and you're not happy, then let's just end it, right? And she'll make out that like you kind of ended it. You know, women are great gaslighters, if you want me to be honest with you. So that's how she will break up with you. And, you know, maybe she will be direct, but a lot of times she's going to try and flip it onto you. Okay, so I hope I gave you guys a great breakdown of why women break up with men. If there's any questions, let me know in the chat. I'll get back to each question. So next up we have how to get over a breakup. Okay. So, you know, I've heard bullshit female coaches online saying that breakups affect women way more than it affects men. And, you know, maybe the trauma affects women more than it affects a man. But I would say that a man, it definitely gets heartbroken way more than a woman does. And you guys might be thinking, why? Why do you say that? Well, men love a lot more unconditionally than women. we know women, they're not really going to get with a man who doesn't have a future, doesn't have a job, is a bum, you know, not in physical shape a lot of times. You know, they can. You're going to have to make up with it with other ways if you're out of physical shape. Maybe you got extra money or you have status or, you know, you're simply just more funny and charismatic than the average man. But in general, women are going to have way more options. So it's going to be easier for them to move on. A man, you was unconditional with that woman. You know, you had your boundaries, you had your standards, but really and truly, you really loved her for who she was. And that's going to hurt more. One, because it's more unconditional, like I said. And, you know, it's going to be harder for you to get on the dating market again. That's the truth. Even if you are a 7 out of 10 guy and your ex-girlfriend was a 5 out of 10, say, it's still going to be way easier for her to move on. Even if it's just casually. She can at least go out there and fuck a guy who's probably even better looking than you straight away. You, though, you're going to have to get back to the drawing board. You're going to have to be like, all right, where did I fuck up in that relationship? And where am I going to improve on in my life? And how am I going to go out there and get women? And how am I going to go and get a better woman? How am I going to make different changes and not make the same mistakes when it comes to picking and vetting your woman? So, like I said to you guys, understand why she left and make sure never to make the same mistake again, right? Write it down if you have to. Write down everything that you need to do to make sure that your relationship is healthy. Next up, we have probably one of the most important, which, you know, all red pill influencers say, and a majority of men agree with this. Get in the gym. The gym is where, you know, you're going to turn that pain into gain. Every time, you know, you're feeling down, you got a bit of hurt, you've just gone through a breakup, go sign up to a gym. If you ain't got the money to go sign up to a gym, which you fucking should, if you don't have money for a gym, you're fucking brokey, and you don't even deserve a fucking girlfriend, if you want me to be completely honest with you. If you can't afford to go gym, you never deserved a girlfriend, and you need to go back to the drawing board and get up your finances, which we're going to also speak about. However, gym. If you can't get in the gym, you got to go on hikes, do your press-ups, sit-ups, calisthenics, go find a bar. But preferably you want to get into a gym, do some weightlifting, do some cardio, figure out what's the weakest part of your body, how to strengthen that up. You know, what kind of body type do you have? Are you slender and tall? Are you short and stocky? And figure out how your body is going to become more attractive. Me, myself, I'm 5'9". I would say I'm more the stocky type, right? So not right now. Right now, I would say I'm closer probably around like 20, 25, probably around 20% body fat. But I understand as someone who's 5'9" and who is stocky, I've really got to walk around at no more than 12, 13% body fat. I have to be ripped in order for me to look taller. Because if I just look like a bulk, then I'm going to look less attractive to females. It is what it is. The same way, if you're like really tall and lanky and you don't have much muscle mass, then you need to become stockier. You need to put on that muscle mass because right now you look like a twig and your girl might not see you as a protector. Just subconsciously. You know, women think like just subconsciously she'll look at you and be like, if I got attacked on the street, this guy ain't going to be able to do much. That's why I tell guys out there, even if you are in shape, you do have a great physique, it's always good to go out there and learn some combat fighting, whether it's boxing, any type of mixed martial art, karate, Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu. You have to learn at least the bases, you know, the basics of one martial art or combat sports. So, become as attractive as possible. What do I mean by that? Well, the truth is a lot of you guys literally aren't in shape, stink, don't groom up properly, got long fucking toenails, yeah, bro. You a lot of you guys don't know how to groom up and, you know, look after yourself properly. And what I say is you need to look in the mirror and go from top to bottom, just like a laser, right? It all starts from the hair first. Does your haircut suit your face? Does it suit your face structure and your body type? And you guys might be thinking, well, you know, how do I know this shit, bro? Like, you know, I don't know if I should have long hair or spiky hair or French crop or braids or a skin fade. Well, you know, there's actually AI apps that you guys can go and see, but there's also a lot of guys they do it for a living, right? Their appearance, not appearance influence, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a word I'm looking for, but you know, there's men out there who do well with women who are going to be able to tell you that, you know what, bro, you've got a square looking head, so you should really not have a high fade. You should maybe drop your fade a little bit lower. Or if you've got like a more rounder head like myself, you know, you want to get your fade a little higher so you don't look like you got like a bowling ball head, which if I did have a lower fade, I would look like a bowling ball. So yeah, start with your hair, go onto your skin. Your teeth are very important. You know, your nostril hairs, your ear hairs, your eyebrows, you know, your beard. Does your beard suit your face? All the way down to your body. Is your body well groomed? Do you trim your armpit hairs? You know, if you are going to keep your body hair, do you trim it? Do you wax your body? If you are ripped, I'd advise waxing. So you got to just go from top to bottom. Your nails. You know, women look at every small detail. And like I said to you guys, we need to become the best version of ourselves. And it just doesn't go for finances. It just doesn't go for learning frame and, you know, acquiring more game. It's everything, guys, everything. And even though women are not physical creatures as much as us, physical is still important to them. So, yeah, groom up. Everything, your hygiene is extremely important. Make sure you don't smell. Make sure your toenails, your hand nails are clean. Everything, bro. Like literally, like I said, look in the mirror and just pretend there's a laser going through your whole body, and you're like, all right, cool. What's the next thing I need to work on? Okay, and also understanding what arouses women. A lot of times women turn around and they say what they're attracted to, which a lot of times is lies. You know, I want a guy who's kind and giving and, you know, who's going to hype me up constantly. And a lot of times they're not the type of guys that they go for. What you guys need to realize is not what women say, but what women do. Who do women date? A lot of times women date guys who are arseholes, right? You guys have seen that in probably your experience. Maybe in school you saw it, in college, even in your dating life as an adult. Women tend to go for arseholes. Goes back to that psychology of a man telling a woman in a way where it's not directly telling her, but mentally telling her, like, I'm better than you. Women are sexist way more than us. Sexism benefits women. Women do not want to date equals. There's this whole thing, like this, you know, what's the word? Egalitarianism thing. Yeah, egalitarianism of like women, men thinking that they want to be equally yoked. That's just bullshit. Women don't go for men that they're equal to. Women always go for superior men. A man who can teach her, a man who's stronger than her, taller than her. Even if she can get a man who's better looking than her, she will. A man who's got more finances than her. So guys, stop thinking like Fred in my chat was thinking like, women do not want a man who's equal to them. That is a lie that feminism has pushed, and, you know, it's bullshit, bro. It's straight up bullshit. As Khabib will say, number one bullshit. So, understand what arouses women. Dark traits, that's what arouses women. And I don't mean you need to be an arsehole all the time. That's not what women like either. If a woman's not going to see a big heart and see a kind side to you, she's not going to like you either. If you're an arsehole all the time, no. What I mean about being an arsehole is you need to be assertive and have standards and boundaries at the right times as a man. So, you know, you need to be able to tell her sometimes, you know what? I heard you say something before, and, you know, there was people around and I didn't want to say something in front of everyone, but there's something you said that I didn't like, and this is why I didn't like it. Communicate with her very assertively and very bluntly and be honest with her. And you'll be surprised how many times women will actually react well to it, because when you've got a woman trying to qualify for you, that's when it works, my G's. It doesn't work the other way around. When you're trying to qualify for a woman, ain't gonna work. She's just gonna see you as, you know, just another simp in her DMs, another simp that's just trying to get her attention. So make sure that women are qualifying for you. Tell women your standards. Tell women your boundaries. yeah? And a lot of times they're going to work hard to make sure that they meet those boundaries and standards. Make sure you have a purpose in life. A purpose will definitely get you over your breakup, you know? What do you want to do in life? What makes you happy? But not only what makes you happy also has to have potential of bringing you finances and a future career. Like a lot of people, like, you know, here in LA we live, and, you know, you have guys who are like deep in their 30s and they're still saying, nah, bro, I want to be a rapper. I'm going to be a rapper, bro. And, you know, it takes a man like me to turn around to you guys and be like, bruv, like, you're fucking delusional, bro. And, you know, sometimes I don't even say it because I can see that the guy's just too far gone. And that, look, I'm not saying that a guy can't make it in music in his late 30s. But if you're a man and you think you're going to be a rapper or a musician, let's say, and you are in your late 30s, you have to have plan B. You have to have something in the background, something on the side where you're going to make sure that if things don't go well in music, if you don't become a rapper or a musician, you can fall back to your other career that's going to make sure that you're not going to end up a brokey. And a lot of, you know, guys in LA, they're like, no, I'm going to be a musician. I'm going to be a rapper. They have no plan B. And yeah, bro, it's just disaster. So make sure you have a real purpose that's gonna bring you a real income and a real future. And the last thing to how to get over a breakup is chill with the mandem. Chill with the boys, man. A lot of times your boys will help you get over a breakup. You know, chilling with the boys, having a laugh, doing masculine things like going out there, shooting, playing sports, you know, competing against each other, whether it's poker, chess, whatever it is, swimming, whatever it is. Men always help other men get over breakups. And listen, if you have a true masculine male friend in your life and he's super honest, he's also going to give you great advice on to getting past your breakup and also how to vet women and choosing a better woman going into the future. All right, cool. So that was how to get over a breakup. Next up, I have how to move on and date again. Like we said, and I know, look, I know I'm repeating myself on a lot of these points because, you know, a lot of the points, they overlap each other. It goes into each other. It's like a cycle, right? And if you get this cycle correct, you're going to be able to navigate around women, pick which women you want to deal with and not have to deal with fuckery to the fullest, you know? Am I saying that women at the top don't deal with fuckery? Listen, bro. Even your Dan Bilzerians, Andrew Tates, you know, Tom Hardy's, Brad Pitt's, Leonardo DiCaprio's, fucking Anthony Joshua's, even the top tier men who have all the women chasing them, I guarantee you, bro, they deal with female fuckery too, yeah? Now, like I said, you got to become the best version of yourself. And you have time to do that. You don't have to rush into a relationship how women rush into relationships. Like even me now, like I wouldn't say I'm panicking at all, but you know, I'd like to meet a great woman. But at the end of the day, I still do understand that if I really wanted to, I can carry on going, making more finances, working on my status, working on my all the traits that make a great man, and really and truly go and settle down when I turn 40. And still go and get a beautiful 21-year-old if I really wanted to at 40 years old. That's the truth. We don't have a clock like women have a clock, right? Women have a clock from 18 to 24 where they're the most attractive, and you men who are great want to go for those with that age bracket, right? But the truth is, as women get into their late 20s, early 30s, late 30s, early 40s, by that time they're pretty cooked, bro. And the kind of men that they want, the kind of men that they want don't want them back. And they'll never say it, they'll never admit to it, but it's the fucking truth. And you know, you guys saw me talk about this on my stories yesterday and the day before. It's the truth, bro. Women are never gonna admit it. That's why they shame you for liking younger women, because they understand as a man gets older, his value only gets higher. Does that mean I'm better looking now than I was when I was younger? No. I would actually say I was way better looking at 20 than I am right now. Maybe I wasn't in as great physical shape, like as strong as a man, but I was better looking as a face. But women don't go for just physique. Women go for the complete package. Us men, We're physical creatures. So for us, beauty is the main thing. Women understand this. That's like why I said yesterday, there's a shop called Forever 21. It's not called Forever 31 because women want to stay Forever 21. That's why they go spend shitloads on surgery, cosmetics, you know, tons of makeup they wear. You know, they use filters to make themselves look younger. Women understand that their value predominantly comes from their beauty. Is it completely their beauty? No. But it's the first thing that gets their foot through the front door. In other words, you could be a virgin. You could cook the best meals, give your man massages, you know, be a very traditional woman who's come from a great household with a masculine father. However, if you're a fat bitch, no one's going to want you still. Like, you still got to go out there, lose weight and be attractive as a woman for you to be able to get your foot through the front door with a great man. So, like I said, men, go work on yourselves. You have time, but you don't have time, yeah? In other words, yeah, you can become, you know, there's men who might be watching me who are 30 years old now. You guys might be brokies at 30. My G, you can still go out there and completely U-turn and change your life. Go out there, make serious money within the next 3-4 years. You know, get into a field where it makes 6 figures a year at least. Start hustling harder on the side, building yourself up more till you invest into a side project and even becoming an entrepreneur. As a man, you can go out there and have a later prime, right? Me, myself, I used to feel like I was always missing out. You know, the fear of missing out when I was in like my late teens and my early 20s. And I didn't understand this as a man. And I would even say that I actually become successful pretty early in my life, which is not always great for men. I tell you guys, it bit me in my ass. I wasted a lot of finances becoming very successful too early in my life. I didn't respect the money so much. Maybe I earned it a little too easy. You know, like I said, as men, we do have time. But at the same time, that doesn't mean you go out there and start playing video games and fucking around in your early 20s. Nah, my G's. If I tell you got time, that means like you have time, but you got to still start right now. You know, there's competition everywhere. That girl that you like, there's 100 other dudes trying to get that girl that you like. So you've got to literally differentiate from all those other guys. You've got to be better than all those guys. How can you do that? You've got to go out there, learn female nature. In your early 20s, your late teens, go out there. Sleep with women, but don't chase women. So don't waste resources and time chasing women. But yeah, if a chick comes along, she wants to fuck you, fuck her. Live and learn. Learn what women like and what did work for you, what didn't work for you. Oh shit, I called this girl beautiful and I gave her a little bit too much of a compliment. And then like, instead of her like showing me gratitude, she didn't message me back until like 2 days later or something. Like, I'm just giving you guys an example, right? You're going to learn from these situations yourself. Even better than you're going to learn from me. Even though there's a quote I like where they say, you know, a smart man learns from his mistakes, but a wise man learns from other people's mistakes. You don't really have to always live it yourself to learn the mistake. You can see it in other people. You can see a friend. I'm here advising you guys. But ultimately, yeah, live and learn with women. Go out there, physical shape as young as possible. Acquire finances as young as possible. Don't watch porn. Masturbation is for weak men. Like, don't watch porn. You know, and I know it's very, very addictive. You know, I was definitely addicted to it when I was young. Like, bro, I'm not shameful enough. Like, I'll tell you guys straight. I don't care. I don't need to lie. Definitely done it 4 or 5 times in a day before. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it comes with so many negatives that you don't even realize. When you masturbate and watch porn, you putting women on a pedestal and then when you end up going face to face to a woman, you don't even have the confidence and you don't it's like you become nervous and anxious when it actually becomes a real life thing. You don't want to become like that, bro. Go out there, walk up to women that even are way past your tier, you think, and try and chat them up. What's the worst that's gonna happen? They're gonna say no. They're gonna reject you. Who gives a fuck, bro? You're more than likely never gonna see that chick again. And guess what? If you work on yourself and you do see that chick again, believe me, it's happened to me in my past where I might have reached out to a girl. She didn't want me to pursue her, or she didn't want to entertain me. And then maybe like 6-7 months later, she slides into my DMs or she sees me out and she tries to talk to me. And, you know, it feels amazing to be able to be like, yeah, nah, I'm good. You know, you don't have to say it like that, but, you know, you're telling her that, yeah, you know what, maybe you tell her that you're seeing someone or you're not interested. I'd just rather be upfront and just tell her, yeah, you're not interested. All right, cool. So, being in the right mental place, that's another reason why I don't believe young men should jump into relationships. Does that mean if you're 24, 25 and you meet yourself an 18, 19, 20-year-old beautiful girl and you think, oh, bro, like she's a gem, and you do semi-have your shit together, maybe you're on the way to being a 6-figure earner, yeah, date her, man. I'm not saying to you never do it, but I'm just saying you don't have to. You don't have to rush into it. You have time on your side, but you don't have time on your side on becoming that 1% man. How many men really become that 1% man? Not many, right? To become that 1% man is very hard. It takes blood, sweat, and tears, and it takes years. That's why playboys, you know, that's why we look at people like Andrew Tate and Dan Bilzerian, and what do we call them? Top G, playboy. Do you get what I'm saying? We don't even shame them. Why? Because it's hard work for a man to become to the point where he can fuck any woman he wants and get multiple amount of women. But women, it's very easy for them to get a man. That's why we call them slags. That's why we call them 304s and whores. Because if a woman's going out there and she's just fucking loads of dudes, she's just giving up her value, which is very easy for her to do. It's not respected. It's the difference between a trust fund kid and a self-made millionaire. If you have a friend, you had 2 friends and you had one who was a self-made millionaire and the other guy who was a trust fund kid, whose advice would you really take more seriously? Tell me, would it be the trust fund kid? No, right? Why? Because he didn't have to earn it. And that's why I say women live life on easy mode. From 18 years old, a woman can go out there, get on yachts with multi-millionaires, date millionaires, network. She can even go out there and do sex work and make millions and hundreds of thousands if she wanted to. Like women literally in 2025, women have their, you know, their life. What's the quote? I'm looking at the oyster. Their life is their oyster. Did I say it right? The world is their oyster. Their world is their oyster. Yeah. So they can do pretty much anything they want when women are young. When we're young, let's be honest, bro. Like I was an 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-old Chad, and I pretty much still fucked any woman I wanted to. However, I couldn't have a successful relationship then. You know, I did get turned down here and there. Like there was things I had to learn from. Like at 18, 19, 20 as a man, there's so many things you need to go through, man. That's the truth. So we have time, women don't. That's why older women will shame you as an older man for liking younger women. That's the truth. That's why I even had that woman trying to troll me on Instagram the other day. All right, finances, physique, mental, frame, knowledge, being mysterious. Don't tell women everything. Let women learn more and more about you as time goes on. You tell women everything from the get-go, women like love a bit of mysteriousness. And I'll tell you an example of this, right? So if you go back 4 years ago, I never used to show myself, if you remember. I'd cover my face on my Instagram. And I would say, even though I do get female attention on IG, nowhere near as much as women would get. I'll tell you, like I said to you, even an ugly girl gets way more attention than I'd get on Instagram, right? But even back in the day, even though I was overweight and, you know, I was I was in the same place in my life, I would say I understand the world a little bit more now, but maybe I had a little bit more finances then. However, I was fat and out of shape, but I would get more female attention. Why? Because I'd hide my face. I wouldn't show my life completely. I wouldn't talk as an influencer. Like even me talking to you guys now and uncovering all these truths, it kind of bites me in my ass as a man when it comes to me, myself dating. But I don't give a fuck. I know in the end I'll be good and I'd rather help the men out there. So guys, be mysterious. Don't tell women everything. You know, let women uncover you like a book slowly. And build standards and boundaries. Understand what you'd like, what you want from a woman. Me personally, like I say, I want a woman with, I wouldn't say no body count, Oh, I'd love a woman with no body count, obviously, but I understand we live in the West. It's going to be very unlikely. So I'd say as close to no body count. A woman who doesn't have to be able to cook, but she wants to learn to cook. Yeah, so like, you know, a girl who's going to take classes. Obviously, I'll pay for the classes, sit there in the kitchen, trial and test different dishes. A woman who actually has the passion to get in the kitchen and cook you a great meal. A woman who's hygienic. A woman who's fit and wants to work out and take care of herself. A woman who comes from a good family. Doesn't have to be, but preferably you want a woman who comes from a good family with a masculine and great brother in her life. Someone who she had a male influence in her life. So, because a lot of times women don't have good males in their lives. They just simply don't respect men. A woman who's willing to be submissive to the right man and listen. It's wild to me how many women turn around and say, I want a leader. There's no men who are leaders out there. Where are all the leaders? But then when it's time for her to fucking listen, she don't want to listen, which for me is like wild work. You want a leader, but you don't want to listen. How does that work? You want a man who's responsible for you without no authority. Does not work. So, understanding what type of woman is worth it. Like I told you guys a few of the traits that I'm looking for. I have bonus traits as well. You know, like I want a girl who's unvaccinated as well. That's another thing. However, I do have bonus traits. For example, I prefer a girl who's 5 foot to 5'4". However, it's not a must. Same way with, I prefer a Greek girl so I can keep my children pedigree. Even though I do want multiple women, I reckon. I'm not proper set in stone, but I think in the future I do want to have multiple women with multiple families. Without having no casual sex, I prefer that. But yeah, understanding what type of woman is worth it and vetting her properly, man. Vetting her properly. Guys, wouldn't you say that you respect and you're more into a woman who kind of makes you work for the sex a little bit? Like, think about it. If you fuck a woman instantly, and I'm not saying that it's always a bad thing. I know a lot of good relationships that have happened through guys and girls like fucking pretty early in life. And I'll be honest with you, I think me and my ex, it wasn't like the first few times, but it still happened, I think the third or fourth time. It was pretty early on. And she was my only ever girlfriend, and I would call it a successful relationship, even though there was an end to it. But, you know, we're still good friends now, and there was way more positives than negatives. But, yeah, you need to make her work for it. Just like she shouldn't really make you work for sex. You need to make her work for a relationship. You don't just find the girl of your dreams and just be like, yeah, like, you ready to be my girl now? No, man, you got to make her work for it. Slowly, slowly. Do you know what I'm saying? Because if she sees you as a challenge, that's when she's going to value you a lot more. And she's also going to feel more special in the future because she's going to be like, oh shit, like he really put me through it before he qualified me as to be his girlfriend. Or, you know, he has so many options through so many different girls, but he picked me. So, yeah. Picking women and vetting them, that's important. And that's basically my conclusion. If you guys have any questions, let me know. And if you guys want to know why we're in such a mess in the dating market, it's simply because shame, we don't shame people no more. We do now. I think shame's come back into like, you know, society. I'm seeing a lot of like Gen Z and like the new, like, you know, the young guys and the young girls. They're definitely a lot more conservative. You're a lot more shamed for having OnlyFans or being a promiscuous girl. A lot more religious, I'd say. So I would say things are going back to how they should be. But my generation was cooked. And I remember even me growing up, when I was 25, I would never date a girl who was even 24, 23. Because I was shamed for it. Like even having a girl who was like even a year or two younger. Feminism and social media literally took the masculinity out of men. Shame them for being masculine. Shame them for what they like. You know, we want to go out there and say that we want a woman without a past. Oh, we're fucking misogynist. But when a woman turns around and says she wants a man who makes 6 figures and is 6 foot, that's completely fine. That's fucking bullshit. Yeah? So, man's boundaries and standards demonized, women's boundaries and standards glamorized. And it's bullshit. So, why are we in this mess? Feminism and social media. Social media, because women think the grass is greener on the other side all the time. They've got so many options. And, you know, feminism is literally the cancer of the world, which I'll break down in the future. Maybe we'll do a stream where I'll talk about feminism as a whole. But yeah, that's my breakdown on how to bounce back from breakups, guys. I hope I gave you guys tons of value when it comes to breakups and understanding female nature. We're obviously going to have way more dating content coming out in the future, but I think I gave you guys a good basic 101 of dating just now. All right, cool. So next up, I'm going to spark up the J. I'm going to finish the J. But while I do the J, we're going to watch a video, and it's Myron Gaines, who, do you know what? Everyone who follows me and watches all my content, go follow Myron Gaines, man. I'd say he's pretty much the only YouTuber that I really watch. Tons of gems when it comes to, you know, I'm majorly into politics myself, but he drops gems across the whole board. And, you know, he runs a podcast called Fresh and Fit, which was the first dating podcast where they were dropping red pills on the men while there was women on the panel. You know, we had it with Kevin Samuels in the past, and Kevin Samuels definitely the godfather of the red pill dating side. But Myron Gaines definitely, for me, took the torch from Myron Gaines definitely took the torch from Kevin Samuels. And right now, he's doing greatness, not just in dating, but in politics as well. He's one of the very few conservative creators who talks against Israel. You know, a lot of the conservative creators we know will never talk against Israel, probably because they're paid by them. They understand that they'll be deplatformed if they speak on them. And yeah, Myron Gaines I respect because he's got a lot to lose, in my opinion, and he has lost a lot already. He's been demonetized, for example. Like yesterday, he showed that he was getting 12 million views every single month, which I'm sure 12 million views a month should be close to around 20, 30 racks minimum monthly, right? 12 million views?
I don't know if it's just off that.
No? Well, I think it's at least 10, 15K. I don't think it would have been earning any less than that. So yeah, YouTube is pretty much kind of robbing him at the moment.
Yeah, I know.
It's quite a lot, yeah. So, yeah, big up Myron Gaines. I know a lot of people don't like him, you know. I'm going to talk about this because, you know what, fuck this guy. This guy deserves what I'm going to say. So, you know, I had a guy called Illa come on the podcast recently, and I interviewed him. And, you know, I originally thought that Illa, this guy who's very soft, victim mindset guy, and, you know, even if you see this, bro, you got anything to say, bro? You know exactly where my office is. You can pull up to my office. We can put some gloves on. We can not have gloves on. Like, I'll knock your fucking chin off your head. And the reason I say that is because you're majorly disrespectful and you do have a victim mindset. So this guy Illa, who I interviewed on my podcast, he kept coming on in my DMs and sending me Myron Gaines' things and being like, oh, look, he's against black people and all of this. And look, Myron Gaines is pretty much like me, right? I'm racist too to everybody, every single body. Yeah, I call out all the shit between all races. Myron Gaines is a black man who calls out fuckery in the black community. This guy, Illa, who considers African people not being black, FBA, Foundational Black American Retarded Thought Process, yeah, thinks that Myron's not black, so in other words, he's not able to speak on black issues, right? And, you know, he kept sending me, these clips of Myron, and, you know, I would always ignore them, because I was like, bro, you're clearly a victim mindset. You clearly don't like Myron or myself. I kind of noticed that, and it's because he's a brokey, right? He's even older than me and Myron, and he has nothing to his name. And you know, this guy's got a terrible mindset. This guy went on the Whatever podcast, which is a massive platform, right? And he's asking me advice as a man. And, you know, if I was asking a man for advice who was well more accomplished than myself, I would fucking listen to that advice. And he was demanding for him to be paid from Whatever podcast, even though he has no platform. And I told him, my G, that's not a smart decision to make. If I was in your situation, I'd just keep going on Whatever for free, keep building up my platform, plug myself on his platform, and just move on like that. In other words, I said to him, bro, you don't deserve to be paid. And you know, he as a, because I'm just gonna say, a lot of black men in America, and not even just in America, man, in Europe, but it happens a lot more in America. You guys have victim mindset, the same as a lot of Jews. Victim mindset, yeah. And a lot of my black friends who are very successful, hyper successful, have the opposite. They take accountability for everything. Yeah, so this guy would always send me clips about Myron. And the last one he sent me was basically Myron saying that he would never go to a club full of black guys, yeah? Basically saying it's not a good environment. Why would he go there? Like, all shootouts happening, etc. And bro, it's the fucking truth. Did he lie? No, it's the fucking truth. He said he would rather go somewhere where they play Bon Jovi and whatnot, and it's more of a relaxed atmosphere. It's a black man saying that about black culture. Something that I wouldn't say publicly, but I actually agree with him. So, you know, Illa sends me this fucking clip, and he's like, well, look at this. And I'm like, well, bro, you're from New Jersey, right? And I'm from London, and we understand, you understand hood mentality. Like, don't you understand you don't want to be in a place and a club full of goons? And, you know, he just sent me like 2 massive paragraphs, unfollowed me for like the 3rd time on Instagram, which is like, bro, I've got a way bigger platform than you. Like, I know my career on YouTube is going to be successful in the end. And bro, you ain't going to get nowhere. You're literally a bum, bro. You're a bum. Yeah, you're a fucking bum who's got like 10 years on me as well. And instead of you, like, you know, being able to go back and forth between men, because let me tell you another thing. I have a friend called Terrence, and I hope you're watching this, Tezza, yeah? And Terrence is black from London, right? And me and him also disagree on black oppression, and like I think there's black supremacy right now in the West, right? And he disagrees with me, but I can sit there, go back and forth with my boy without him getting emotional and getting upset about it and unfollowing me, and, you know, understanding that we can have different viewpoints and actually sit there and debate as men. But this fucking FAG, yeah, Illa, absolutely moist fucking snowflake. And guys, you know, you guys can see me chatting shit. Bro, this guy's like 6'3". I don't give a fuck. One punch from this Spartan fist and he's out. Yeah? I don't give a shit. This guy is so soft. He's not able to debate and go back and forth with me, but instead putting out ad hominems and also unfollowing me and blocking me. Like, bro, you are soft. You are moist. You are the reason that why Myron's going viral. People don't want to listen to you and your fucking victim mindset. That's why Myron gets so many fucking tens of thousands of people watching him at one time. No one wants to see your fucking bum-ass man fucking complaining about life and this and that and why you can't be successful. Like, bro, I don't want to fucking hear it. Yeah? Simple. Don't want to fucking hear it. Anyway, that was me breaking down the whole Illa thing. I'm taking down all the clips that I did with Illa. Fuck that fucking snowflake. The only time he will ever be on my platform is if he wants to come fist it up with me, and I'll show him how a 220 pound guy gets knocked out by a 150 pound guy. Very simple. Anyway, so Myron Gaines he did a stream recently where he went on the streets, right? He went on the streets and, you know, he basically put up this quote, "Why women deserve less." And, you know, he put it on a board and, you know, women were going back and forth with him, why women deserve less. And then something, you know, I could see it happening, and something happened where I saw an Israeli guy come onto the mic, right? And I was like, yeah, this guy's not going to want to be talking about dating. I could just tell, right? Especially with his first question. So we're going to pull up the video.
I'm sorry? Can you elaborate on what you mean by provide? You said she was the majority.
All right, cool. So yeah, we're gonna go to the Zionist bit, and I'm gonna break down to you guys. And again, guys, I can call out fuckery with being look. I can call out fuckery within my own people, Greek people. Greek people started the the whole LGBT shit, bro. Like, a lot of Greek men are FAGS. Like, loads of Greeks suffer from cholesterol, high heart disease. They're gonna die early. They eat way too much lamb. Fucking. The main one is that a lot of them are fucking FAGS, but fucking, like, bro, I can call out fuckery with it and everything, yeah? And like I said before, one of my best friends is a Jew, yeah? And I go back and forth with him before. In fact, my relationship with him actually started because if you guys remember, I put up a post on Instagram, which actually went viral. I'm pretty sure it got like 70,000 views in the end. And it was me talking about Palestine and Israel. And I met my friend Sam through that post. You know, he was one of my followers and he messaged me and he was like, bro, like, you know, he was upset about it and he was like, bro, like, he basically told me, like, he told me his viewpoint. And me and him went back and forth and we ended up meeting, going foot golf together. And till this day, we're very good friends. And, you know, I know he knows that I'm anti-Israel, yeah? We don't really bring up so much, but I've said it before. I think Hamas are terrorists, obviously. But I also think the IDF, Israel, are terrorists. And we're going to break it down a little bit more, but we're first going to listen to the stream, right? Where Myron absolutely obliterates and cooks these Zionists. So, all right, we're going to switch it up to the laptop. Right.
Doing what they're doing and affecting world trade and XYZ.
All right, one sec.
My family's from Sudan. Yeah, and just to kind of like explain that to everybody, when I make the point that, you know, women don't value validation is because they get it all the time. By the time a woman hits puberty, she's getting hit on by men all the time. The average woman, by the time she's 21 years old, has been approached like 70,000 times. Versus men, you might get approached by a girl 10, 20 times in your lifetime, if that.
If that, bro. If that. Like, if you've had 20 girls walk up to you, you're probably more than likely a very good-looking guy. But that's why, because I also wanted to mention something that he said there. That's also, guys, why I always start off, when I'm talking to a female, I always like to start off with banter or actually like dissing her in a friendly way, in a joking way, because, bro, she don't want to hear all the other shit that she's heard a million times. You're beautiful, or you got a nice smile. Like, bro, it's like, if you are going to compliment her, make sure you compliment something that's not her physically. Like, it could be maybe her outfit or, you know, her jewelry. Like, obviously that's physical as well, but nothing physical about her. Do you know what I'm saying? Preferably me, I start off with bullying, I'll be honest with you. Not bullying, but I'll start off with a little bit of banter, saying something funny and cheeky.
Right. Right. For the average guy, at least. So, typically, what I mean by this is women simply just don't appreciate male attention the same way that men appreciate female attention. We're far more likely to appreciate women doing right by us.
All right, Zionist is about to come in.
Fucking
idiot. All right, here he is.
We could get into international talk, right?
Sure.
You know when you see one of my Jewish boys, innit?
I want to take a different angle. You're Yemeni background, right?
No, my family's from Sudan.
From Sudan?
Yeah.
Okay. Question is, what do you think about the Houthis looking outside in and how they're affecting the war? Because I've listened to your stance on Israel.
And guys, quickly, before we move on to the Israel thing, would you guys say that Myron is black? Of course he's black, bro. Like, it's crazy to me that Foundation Black Americans say that Africans and Caribbean people are not black because they don't come from ancestors of slavery. Like, that to me is wild and extremely, extremely low IQ. Like, very, very low IQ. Dumb.
And Zionism.
Anyway.
Sure. So I get that. We don't need to get into that, but how they're acting in response to it, being a proxy of Iran and doing what they're doing and affecting world trade and XYZ. Do you agree or disagree with what's happening?
Yeah. Do I agree or disagree with what they're doing?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it matters if I agree or disagree, but I understand.
No, but I want to hear, you have like an opinion on a lot of different matters. So what's your opinion on that?
My thing is I simply understand why they're doing what they're doing, right?
Do you?
Yes.
Okay.
On why they're doing what they're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're trying to create an enormous amount of pressure on Israel economically.
But it's not working, right?
Well, it was working for a long time. That's why we had to intervene. It was working, yes.
It's not working.
When they were boarding the ships and they were sending the rockets in.
Yeah, but you're bombing ships that are affecting trade.
They weren't bombing ships.
Attacking ships. They're sending missiles to ships that are going through the ports.
And this is another thing as well, yeah, and this goes for my boy Sam as well. A lot of Zionists, you guys don't do your own fucking research, and you guys are fucking like really clueless when it even comes to even the whole Palestine-Israel thing. You guys just take Israeli propaganda and just run with it. Even a lot of conservatives, people like Charlie Kirk, they take Zionist propaganda, just run with it. It's wild. You guys need to do your own research into your own shit, man. Like me, like I understand what happened with Cyprus and Turkey to like a very deep extent, which I'll probably speak about in the future, but you guys don't really know shit about your history.
Ships. Yep,
Anyway.
They were pirating ships and obviously affecting international trade.
Yeah.
Right. But that was creating quite a bit of problems for Israel financially. They were boarding ships that had
Not
financial
for
issues
Israel,
with
for the world.
I'm sorry?
For the world.
Of course, but it hurt Israel the most.
How
That's
so?
why I had to shut down one of their ports, actually, as a matter of
How
fact.
so?
It literally hurt.
How did
Israel's
it,
not
how
doing
did
that
it hurt
great
Israel the
economically
most?
right now.
No, you said any topic goes. You said Israel goes.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
So how did it affect
They're not
Israel?
they're not doing well economically right now.
Who's not?
Israel.
It's not because of the Houthis. It's because
Well, that's a
it's
component.
because their workers had to go to reserve service and other
Okay,
things like
so
that.
let me.
So
So
obviously,
do you want me?
Plus the tourism in Israel is fucked right now, obviously, because of war and because of literally the whole world, more than 106 countries, labeling them as terrorists. You know, they're going to lose a lot of tourism.
tourism is down because people are scared to go there.
For sure. So
Right?
their
So-
economy is hurting.
Right,
That's
but is it
precisely why
because
they're
of the
doing what they're
Houthis?
doing. I'm not here to tell you that it's right or wrong. I'm just
No,
simply
I want
telling
to
you
know
what they're doing.
your opinion though, because you have an opinion on a lot of
This
things.
is a fact.
You have opinion on women. You have opinion on a lot of things, right? So
Okay.
what's your opinion in there?
Again.
You have opinion on Zionists. You have opinion on Jews.
You can tell this guy's triggered, innit? Look, he's smiling. He knows he's triggered.
Again, I just told you.
Do you agree or
They-
disagree?
I understand.
Do you agree or disagree with what they're doing?
I understand.
Don't
I
be
don't have to
political
agree or
about it. I mean,
disagree.
Really?
That's really irrelevant. I understand.
You understand?
I understand. Yes.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Thanks.
Okay. Do you
In
have
other
a
words,
position or-
what Myron's trying to say is if you push someone to their limit and you're terrorizing their region, like you understand, even though some of these, some of these groups like Hamas, like Hezbollah, they are terrorists, but if you're going to label them terrorists, then you got to label Israel terrorists. And a lot of times they have to retaliate. Otherwise, they're just going to get wiped out. So, all right, cool. Let's carry on.
You just wanted to get my.
On the matter,
Yeah.
I have a position. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your position then?
I think if a group of people come into someone else's land and rape and torture and burn, they have a right to defend themselves.
Okay.
I also
They always talk about October 7th like that's the first time Israel and Palestine ever had conflict or anything's ever happened. They never mention about the electricity being cut off. They never mention about the food being cut off. Even a lot of things in the background don't get mentioned, but we'll carry on.
still understand the other side.
So killing 100,000
I
plus
also-
innocent people is defending yourself?
Listen, when World War
Exactly.
II happened, there was a lot of innocent deaths also, so we can't really take that angle.
Victim
I agree
mindset, bro.
There's innocent deaths. In war, there's innocent deaths. But the easy way, in my opinion, to end it, now that America's involved and you have the world looking at it, is to return the hostages first. And then
Do
you
you-
open
do you
then
think
you open
Netanyahu
dialect.
cares?
Then you open dialect.
Okay, do you think
That's-
Netanyahu
that's
actually
my
cares?
opinion.
Okay, so here's the thing. Number one, a war is fought between two capable militaries, okay?
Really?
The IDF,
Yeah.
the IDF,
That's
the
right.
IDF is a military, a
Okay.
formalized military that
Okay.
gets supported by us,
All right.
okay? And they're killing
Hamas is supported by Iran. They had like endless amount of
Yeah,
rockets,
they're-
endless amount of ammunition
they're-
Man said endless amount of rockets.
militia.
that can go in
that
one
doesn't-
day and kill over 1,000 people. That's a lot of deaths.
Well,
Bro.
here's the thing. So let's talk facts, right?
Sure.
Because you're putting a lot of Israeli propaganda out there. So let's
Yeah, and before he goes on as well, so you guys understand, like him comparing IDF to Hamas is crazy. It's literally like comparing Paris Saint-Germain to Barnet FC. That's exactly what they're doing. They're comparing a semi-pro team to like the richest and most powerful team in the world, or whether that's Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, whoever. Like Hamas has not much weaponry. Like the weapons they do have is all like land weapons. They do have like small missiles, but nothing that can even get past the Iron Dome. Hamas can't really do shit, man. That's the truth. And even you guys can turn around and say, well, about October 7th? Well, October 7th, a lot of IDF killed a lot of Israelis that people don't want to talk about, one. And two, there was also, I think like maybe Netanyahu maybe kind of let it happen. And I'll explain more a little bit later why. But yeah, IDF is literally one of the most powerful militaries in the world. If the IDF wanted to assassinate a man and he was in a certain building, they could just take out him in just that building and no one else. Like they did even with the pager attack, which they did it with I think it was the head of Hezbollah. Like, these guys have got like next level technology. My thing is, I think Israel wanted to commit a genocide. Israel wanted to take out innocent Palestinian people. And that's what people can't fathom. That's what people can't accept. That's why you've got your Jake Shields, your Dan Bilzerians, your Candice Owen, your Andrew Tate, your Myron Gaines. I'm here speaking about it, you know, and I don't even like, for me, like, it's risky speaking about it, right? I'm here on YouTube. I have Jewish friends. I have Jewish business partners, but I have to talk about what I think's the honest truth and what's right in life. Anyway, let's carry on the video.
Propaganda.
Let's go.
I just wanted your opinion on the Houthis.
No. Let's go through this.
Sure.
So, do you think Netanyahu actually wants the hostages back? Does he care?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
But there are political motives. I agree with you. But
Sure.
yeah, he wants the hostages back.
So which one is it then?
That on October 10th, a deal was put in place to get all the hostages back in return for them not invading Gaza.
If you can't put the deal in front of me so we can look at it together, then it doesn't matter.
No.
It's irrelevant.
Here's the thing.
Oh,
Because
God.
Because there's been over 300 deals that have been put in front of both parties.
I'm telling you, on or about October 10th, this was reported by Israeli media, Haaretz.
Okay.
And this is what a lot of Israelis don't know and Zionists don't know. There was a deal put.
I don't think it was Haaretz though. I think it was the Israel Times. I think it was.
We will go ahead and give all the hostages back in exchange that you do not blow up and attack and invade Gaza. And what did Netanyahu do? He refused. Now, here's the other thing.
Bro.
You mentioned that they killed what? 2,000?
What do you mean, bro?
Or 1,300? No, this is true.
Whatever
it's
the-
true.
whatever the
You
number-
want to know how I know it's true? No. Here's the other thing too.
Look, he's got hecklers on the side now. Loads of Israeli guys screaming at him.
That comes from Israeli media, by the way. Your own country put it out. That comes from your own media.
Oh, it's all bullshit. Even though Israel put it out.
Yeah.
You said that thousands were killed, right?
Correct.
Okay. Are you aware that the Hannibal Directive was activated on that day?
What's the Hannibal Directive?
Sure.
He doesn't even know, bro. This is how stupid he is. Like, how are you going to fucking argue your case and you don't even know what that is? So, Myron's going to kind of explain it, but the Hannibal Directive is like, basically the IDF kill... If IDF can see that some Israelis are going to be kidnapped, taken as ransom, they'll rather kill the Israelis and Hamas, and yeah, killing their own people. And you can turn around and say, well, why would they do that? Well, he's going to explain to you why they do that. It's because in the past, when they have taken Israeli prisoners, they will swap like maybe one Israeli prisoner for like 1,000 Palestinian prisoners. So that's why they don't want to take. That's why they don't want no Israelis getting taken as hostage. But yeah, I think he's going to explain it.
The Hannibal Directive is a directive where Israeli military basically kills their own civilians to ensure. Hold on. See, now they don't like the facts. They don't like the facts.
Yeah, so pull it up.
They don't like the
Pull
facts.
it up.
Okay.
Pull it up.
Hold on.
He's going to pull it up then.
Pull it up.
Hold on a second. Documentation beats conversation. Anybody can say shit. Facts versus theory.
Pull it up, yeah.
Facts. Sit down, sit down, let's all sit down, have documents, proven documents with information, and then you can discuss the debate. He said, she said, my great grandma said it's all opinions. You can shove it up like someone's ass.
Who speaks Hebrew here?
Convert it, ChatGPT. You can translate it.
Man said convert it to ChatGPT. Bro, these men are literally dumb,
I
bro.
don't understand Hebrew. Why is it my language just because I like Israel? Is that my language?
I know these men run the world, but you ain't going to run the world. You are fucking low IQ, bro.
You're sitting here and you're okay with it. It's crazy.
So here's it. No. I never said I was okay with it. I'm saying,
Should the hostages be released?
yes, here's the thing.
Should the
Here's
hostages?
the difference.
Should the hostages be released?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we agree. Finally, we can agree. That's
No,
it.
but here's the problem,
No.
right? The issue is that Israelis simply don't value Palestinian life.
Hold on a second,
That's
hold on a
because-
second.
They don't, bro.
You guys don't.
They don't.
Because
And
you guys have killed
Palestinians
100,000
live in
plus. 100,000 plus.
There's Jewish
We know
Palestinians.
50,000 that have been identified, and then we know that there's a bunch in the rubble.
And I'm just going to say it straight, man. I'm just going to say it how it is. Like, I know Palestinians and I know Israelis firsthand. And whenever I've had conversations with Palestinians, even though they've been literally a whole genocide put out on them, they don't really like, the Palestinians I know have never really said nothing malicious or like, you know, hatred towards Israelis. Obviously, they don't like what's going on right now, But yeah, there's not much hatred. But the other way around, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, Israelis fucking hate Palestinians, bro. I'm just gonna say how it is. They don't even see them as people. They don't exist. That's what they say. I've seen it many times. I've seen it over and over again. But yeah.
As well.
No,
Let's
no,
go back to the
listen,
Hannibal
no
directive.
army will go there
Let's
and
go
drop
back.
leaflets saying, "Hey,
We're
about to come here,"
and they bombed it
and
anyway.
drop a bomb.
And they bomb it
They should
anyway.
leave.
So anyway,
get the numbers that 100,000 plus were killed?
okay.
Even if 100,000 people were killed, hold on. Even if 100, let's
We
agree.
know.
Hold
We
on,
have
hold on a second. Let's have a conversation.
literally data.
If 100,000
And this is funny because they're all are jumbling. Now they're going crazy. Now look, you can see.
100,000.
Shut it down.
No,
Shut
no,
it
no,
down.
don't shut it down.
So
It's good.
here's the thing.
This is amazing.
Let me
Listen.
finish my point. Let me finish
Go
my
ahead,
point,
finish.
right? Because it's interesting that I mentioned the Hannibal Directive. Nobody knew what it was.
What is it? Pull it up.
I just explained it to you.
Pull it up, pull it up.
It is.
Pull it up.
I have the video right here.
Play it,
In
play it, play
English.
it.
Okay,
English.
do you know who Yoav Golan is? Do you know who Yoav Golan is?
Play it in English.
Do you know who Yoav Golan is?
Everyone here speaks English.
Okay, but the problem is that the interview was done in Hebrew in Israel.
So translated. I'll find it translated
There's
one.
captions right here. You want to look at the video?
Perfect.
Here. Come look at it yourself. Come look at it yourself.
What's the purpose of the video so we understand? So I understand what the video's about.
So they interviewed him. See, this is the problem. You guys don't even know. You don't even know. You're here arguing a point that you don't even know. You don't know what the Hannibal Directive is.
I asked you.
Yeah.
I asked you what it is.
I just explained it. I'm telling you, it's when they kill their own civilians to evade them being captured by Palestinian militia groups, to evade hostage negotiations so that they don't have to release 1,000 Palestinians or one Israeli like they did with Elad Lot. Now, with that said, Yoav Golan, you're a defense minister, okay? You're a guy that you're basically your Secretary of Defense, right? Equivalent. He admitted on an interview that the Hannibal Directive was activated on October 7th, and it should have been activated in other areas. That is why Apache helicopters killed a bunch of the concert goers. That's why we know that they shot tanks into the kibbutzes. They shot tank rounds.
Okay, so here it says the Hannibal
Let me
Directive.
finish.
The Hannibal Directive, also translated as Hannibal Procedure or Hannibal Protocol, is the name of a controversial procedure used by the IDF to prevent the capture of Israeli soldiers by enemy forces. What's wrong with that? Who wants their soldiers captured?
No.
That's what it says here.
He's not. Bro, he's not understanding. They killed Israelis.
No.
No.
They
No.
kill civilians as well. And also.
Soldiers are civilians.
No. They killed civilians. And also keep in mind that there's mandatory military service in Israel.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
effectively, they shoot at anyone
but-
that's going to be captured.
On a
Now
day-
again,
I got a question for you.
now
You
with
made
that
Hannibal
said-
Schmannibal.
Okay, this guy. Just wait in line. So anyway,
why
hold on.
are
hold on,
Jews and
hold on,
Palestinians and Arabs
Let's
all fighting
stick-
for a small piece of land?
Let's stick to the
The
topic
Arabs
at
have
hand.
so much land, brother.
Let's stick to land. Let's stick to the conversation.
Oh, now the Arabs have so much land.
Let him be on the mic. Okay. So you guys got to control yourselves. Okay.
Crazy, bro.
One person on the
I'm
mic
just
at a
getting
time.
here.
So again, you made the claim
That.
that a bunch of hostages were kidnapped, which is true.
Yeah.
And you made the claim that they just need to bring the hostages back. And I told you on or about October 10th.
Said release the
They,
hostages.
yes,
yeah.
agreed.
It's a good
They were
start
willing
to
to release the
communication.
hostages, give them all back in return in exchange for them not invading Gaza and bombing Gaza.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe that.
Hold on. Let me finish my point.
This is crazy, bro. He's got the facts there.
That's fine. You can say what you want to say.
No, but you
That's fine.
pull it up.
So, anyway, with that said, right? Great.
Pull it up.
Anyway, so with that said, right? The Hannibal Directive
Yeah.
was activated on that day. And I told you what the Hannibal Directive is.
Who wants any
Now-
of their soldiers to be captured?
But the point is, the reason
And,
why I
and
made
there's
that
going to be
argument,
innocent lives on both
let me
sides.
tell you
Who
why I
wants
made
their
that
soldiers to be
argument.
captured?
Because you made the argument saying they killed 1,000 plus Israelis, and I'm saying, well, the IDF
I
killed a
said
lot
they.
of Israelis.
I said they killed.
And then on top
wait,
of that,
wait.
and then on top
wait,
of
wait.
that,
I said they
hold
killed
on, you made that-
1,000
you made the
plus
assertion.
civilians. They weren't all Israelis.
No.
There was people from Thailand that were killed.
Of course.
Muslims
Yes,
that
I
were
understand.
killed.
I understand.
Jews that, no, so keep
I understand.
it.
But
Americans
again,
that were killed.
I understand that, but the point is that
Indiscriminately killed.
people were being killed.
Indiscriminately.
People were being killed
Indiscriminately.
by both the IDF
Bro,
and Hamas.
if you go
Both
look,
of them.
If you go look at
Both
Gaza,
of them.
you have waterfront land.
Both of them were
They're
being
on
killed.
beaches.
Okay.
They have 5-star hotels.
That's not the
No
argument.
one wants to look at
That's
that.
not the argument.
On October
Again.
On October 6th.
See, this is great.
They were all chilling.
This is great.
On October 6th, they were all chilling, living their lives. There was no famine, nothing.
Wait in line. Wait in line, buddy.
Bro, man said there was no famine and shit, bro. Do you know how many times the Israelis stopped electricity and food supply to fucking to Palestine before October 7th?
In and out of Israel to work, things were fine.
Yep.
Things were not fine.
Yasser Arafat, when he died, left his wife with over $1 billion. The leaders of Hamas, $12 billion, who are now killed, all of them. What happens? When there's war, they get richer, the people of Gaza get poorer, and then the Jews look bad on the world stage. That's all that happens.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Humanitarian goes to the top,
See,
and the civilians suffer. I agree they're
we
suffering.
were talking about October 7th, and you just
I
completely
agree that
deflected.
they're suffering. Yeah, because when you go and say 1,000 Israelis got killed, that's not true. It was 1,000.
Okay,
people
let's say
that
people got killed.
Yeah.
The point I'm trying to make
Muslims
is,
died, bro.
yeah,
You're Muslim.
but here's the thing.
Are you Muslim?
Hamas.
Are you Muslim?
That's irrelevant to the
Muslims,
conversation.
I'm Jewish.
That's irrelevant to the
Jews
conversation.
died. Muslims died.
Yes.
Christians died.
Yes. And
Americans died.
Here's the thing.
People died.
That's why
People
I'm critical
died.
of Israel.
People
Okay.
died.
Now with that said, now here's
People
the thing.
died. Should
Now, like what I
Hamas
said.
surrender? Yes or no?
Here's the thing.
Should Hamas surrender?
No.
Why?
Now here's the thing. Because here's.
So you also agree that they're freedom fighters?
No. Again,
They're
you
labeled-
are taking away.
They're labeled a terrorist organization.
Let me finish saying what I'm saying.
And they shouldn't surrender.
Let me finish
and
saying
you're
what
an
I'm saying.
American
Let me
citizen.
finish what I'm saying.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
You're just interrupting because you don't want to have.
You don't want to have proper dialect, bro.
October 7th.
This is a victim mindset. This is like Illa as well, bro. I swear, bro.
No, you mentioned no. Because then you said, well, no.
No, he mentioned the Houthis.
You wanted to. Yes, and then you talked about October 7th. But here's the problem. You guys make it as if it started October 7th and it never did. It started way before that. And the Zionist propaganda.
Right, I don't know if you guys can see, but there's like a laser going on Myron's head. I heard it was like some black kid on the road who was just doing it, but yeah, there was like loads of people saying in the comments section how, like, you know, there was people on top of the synagogue, like that snipers, fucking ready for Myron already. If you look at it, it's like lasers on his head and shit.
It started before that. It started before that. It started before that. It started before that. You guys were killing people. Israel was founded upon terrorism. Israel was founded upon terrorism.
Can you agree there's killing on both sides?
Again, of course there is. Of course there is. But here's the difference.
That's a fact of life.
I value both. Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, like I was saying, this guy just name calling. Anyway, no, him, the other guy over there, the old guy. So the point I'm trying to make is, I talked about October 7th, and I'm telling you that the died on that day were not just killed by Hamas. That's my point.
Are we talking about?
Okay.
You're talking about Native Americans.
Look, bro,
You're talking about settlers. The Jewish people came.
Yeah, settlements that are illegal.
The Jewish
Settlements
people
that are
came.
illegal.
They built Tel Aviv into what it is today, and all of a sudden they want it back. Like, bro, come on.
Hold on. Let me finish what I'm saying here.
The British mandate had a two-state solution, no?
Are you talking about the Balfour Declaration?
Yeah. No, after that. The British mandate had a two-state solution. There was going to be an Arab state and there was going to be a Jewish state. Right after that, all
Yeah, the British fucked the Palestinians, if you want me to be honest with you.
Let's be honest.
Well, it wasn't your land to have in the first place.
It was Britain's land.
It wasn't
Britain's land.
It wasn't your land to have in the first place. Wasn't your land to have in the first place.
They gave it to half to the Arabs.
It wasn't your land to have in the first place.
They chopped it up.
Well, even if you want to use that they chopped it up, yeah, what does it look like right now? There is no Arabs in that region no more. Like, obviously in the Middle East there is, but not in Israel.
Yeah, well, it's kind of hot out
Well,
here.
where Palestine was.
Meanwhile, you guys are being emotional.
I'm not being emotional.
No,
Telling you
I'm
what's
talking
up.
to this guy. Like I said
Emotional.
before.
There was a two-state solution. There was. It's given by England half to the Jewish state, half to an Arab state.
Again.
Immediately. Right after the Holocaust.
It wasn't
and everybody
theirs.
would be like, oh, he's bringing up the Holocaust. It was right after the Holocaust. We didn't have any sort of military institution behind us.
Really?
We had the Haganah, the Irgun. It was nothing. It was underground.
What are the Haganah and Irgun?
Okay, listen.
And the Lehi gang. What are they?
They were fighting for a Jewish state.
They're terrorist organizations. Bro,
this is what I'm saying. Myron is so well equipped, bro. Honestly, you lot need to go follow him as well. He's well researched, man. Cooking all these motherfuckers.
No, the British gave it over, and the British killed us, and Muslims killed
the King David Hotel.
And
the King David Hotel. You guys don't know your history. That's
I
the
do
funny
know my
part.
history.
Scientists don't know their history. They don't know their history.
The Jews literally corrupted their own holy books. You can't trust them.
He's got some black guy just coming in like you can't trust Jews.
Yeah, and this guy's angry too. Yeah, look at the Zionist tears. They don't like the truth. country was made on terrorism. They don't like the fact that you killed 100 innocent people in the King David Hotel. You don't like the fact that your country was created through terrorism. The very terrorism that you guys denounced today was created by Haganah, Leahy, and the Stern Gang. And on top of that, you guys stole our weapons to do it. You stole our nuclear technology. You killed our president. You guys,
okay, hold on.
You guys attacked our
And when he's talking about he killed our president, he's talking about JF Kennedy. JF Kennedy was definitely killed by the Jews, bro. Or Israeli, Zionists.
No, you guys.
I understand your perspective.
You guys.
You want to hear something?
See, here's the reality. This is what I love. This is what I love. Right? Zionists come here. Zionists come in here and argue with me and say, oh, well, you know, on this day, such and such happened. Okay, what's the Animal Directive? They don't know. They don't know that a bunch of Israelis and a bunch of innocent people were killed by the IDF.
All right, this video is going to finish in a sec, but I know you guys are probably enjoying it.
Oh, well, the British.
Got 8 minutes left.
The British in the King David Hotel, you guys assassinated a bunch of British people. Then on top of that, the state of Israel raided through 3 main terrorist organizations that are now rebranded into the IDF that we know now. Now, with that said, the UN... No,
You don't know nothing about it.
was raided to the Rothschilds. You don't even know the name of it.
Listen,
1917, the
Myron.
Balfour Declaration. You don't know, and you.
Myron.
What were you gonna say? What are you gonna say? You
Can I
don't know
say
what you're
something?
talking about. You're just sitting here. You don't know what you're talking about at all.
This is
Again, you Zionists don't understand your own history of your own country.
we can argue about
The police has come up now as well.
Israel first. You're Israel first. You're Israel first. And quite frankly, Israel is a parasitic country.
Okay.
It's a parasitic country. We should not be giving you guys aid anymore.
Mental AIDS.
We give you billions of dollars of aid that you don't got to pay back. You guys will not exist without American aid.
Perfect.
You guys, quite frankly, were built on terrorism, and it's an evil country. This is why we have to run cover for you guys. We have to run cover for you guys at the UN. The entire international world condemns you.
Hello.
You guys are running illegal settlements. You guys are running illegal settlements. You kill innocent kids every day.
Can I ask you a question?
You kill innocent kids every single day. They went and did a study. and they figured out that that was a lie.
Wait.
That was a lie.
Hey,
That was a lie.
you have like 200.
7 of you to even formulate an argument.
I'm gonna tell you
The inbreeding is real.
Myron.
Hey, Myron's back. He said he needs 7 of you lot to get an argument that inbreeding is real.
Whenever you're ready.
All right,
Whenever
so
you're ready, there's only one truth.
Right, listen to what he says.
You can hate the Jews.
I don't hate the
Hate the Jews, apparently, yeah. So this is what I'm saying. Jews also have such a big victim mindset, bro. Not all Jews, but you know, Zionist top victim mindset. If you call out any fuckery that Israel does, you're an anti-Semite. That's it. You hate Jews. That's what he say. That's what they say.
Fucking sentence.
I hate the Jews.
You can
Even though they don't even know that Myron's manager is Jewish. Anyway.
say you are. You can hate the Jews. You can like the Jews. You can hate Zionists. You can love Zionists. You can hate Israel. You can love Israel. At the end of the day, you'll not kill any Jews. You're not going to kill the ideology of Judaism, and you're not going to kill the ideology of Zionists. Guess what? Israel will stand in the future. Period. You can't fuck with that. That's it. That's the fucking truth. You cannot kill that. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, us Jews are going to prevail and stick together. And this guy can think whatever he wants.
Well, that's one thing they do well. They do stick together, but yeah, they run the world. Obviously, they're going to prevail.
That's fine.
But what Myron's kind of saying now is like, and I agree with him, is like, bro, look, I'm British, right? I've been living in America for a while. Like, bro, like, why is England and especially America Israel first? Like, I've never seen any other country in the world where they put another country at the forefront of themselves. Crazy to me.
You're not America first. They're not the same thing.
Yeah, someone said to him, being America first is the same thing as being Israel first.
Same thing. We will continue.
You guys can grow.
Yeah, America first. America only. Fuck Israel.
Yo, you Israel. All right. On the same topic.
Let's go.
You have 200. You have.
Let's go to.
Wait.
The next person.
Yo, Myron.
Look.
You have 200 people here, right?
So here's the thing.
You have 200 plus people here.
Yeah.
Can you maybe go off script once?
Look.
And say something positive?
What was I gonna say?
Can you maybe go off script once and say something positive that brings us together instead of name calling and saying Zionists?
Oh, you guys been doing a name call.
Jews that. All right, guys, chill for a second. You've had your platform, right? One time, can you say something positive?
About what?
Zionism, Jews, Muslims, innocent people. Can you say something? Women deserve
Oh, now he's
state, and we need to stop supporting it. All right, bro. That's what we need to do. They're killing innocent people, and they're dragging our name in the mud alongside it. No more aid to Israel. No more aid.
If you love Hamas
no more
so much,
aid.
why don't you go live
No,
there?
Mike. No.
You see what he said? If you love Hamas so much, why don't you go live there? Well, motherfucker, if you love Israel so much, why the fuck don't you go live there? Why the fuck are you in America? Go live in fucking Israel then, innit? You know what I'm saying? Don't make no sense what he's saying. That's what I would have flipped it on him.
Dragging our name in the mud. Now, with that said, though, look, we gotta move on. We gotta move on.
You guys, one thing is that you said
and your
you
name
agree
is
with
Israel.
Hamas, and
Fantastic.
they're a terrorist organization.
Go ahead. Yeah, I don't want our country being run by a bunch of Zionists that want to go ahead and continue a genocide on innocent people. You're an embarrassment. Okay, who's
Go on, Myron.
Physical world shit is all bullshit. At the end of the day, this whole world is run by
Oh yeah, and then there's this fat fucking Fred Flintstone guy come here and bro, he's hyping.
spirituality. Listen.
Industry.
At the end of the day, we live in a spiritual world.
We gotta switch the topic, guys, so we can keep the stream going.
So yeah, they kind of
So that we can.
it kind of goes to shit after this. Like police kind of stop it. They start dancing as well to some Israeli music. You guys will see. Let me just forward it.
So let's move that. We gotta switch topics.
Look at this guy. He's so angry. Like, bro, what are you so angry about, bro? Fat shit. You should be angry at yourself, bro.
If you're so fucking smart, what is the U.S. currency at the dollar right now?
Look at this guy, bro. So you got some drunk guy just walking across.
You got this? Yeah, it's crazy. Here. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm happy Mo got in the between, but I feel like if I was there, would have got. Look, if I had that big guy hyping to me in my face, bro, he's getting chinned. He's getting chinned.
You're doing it in front of a fucking synagogue. That wasn't the smartest idea, no? Maybe go in front of a mosque, do it somewhere else. But in front of a synagogue, that's fucking crazy.
He didn't know though.
The truth is the truth, regardless of where I am.
Bro, that's wild.
Like.
And then they start singing and shit. What are they even saying? I wouldn't be surprised if they're saying like death to the Palestinians or some shit like that.
You guys just make yourselves look worse.
And guys, I'm actually trying to get a guy called Norman Finkelstein who he actually was a teacher of one of my mates, and he's a professor who is a Jew but not a Zionist, and he's very critical of Zionism as a Jew. So I definitely want to try and get him on the show. I think that will be a good one. So yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section about that whole debate. Like, do you guys agree with Israel more? Do you guys agree with Palestine? Do you agree with what Myron was saying? What's your takes on it? And yeah, after this, I'm going to do a review on the Aquanaut. And we're going to break down UFC 316 pretty quickly. We're not going to be on there too long. But yeah, we're gonna just go through it quickly. And then what we'll do is the next stream, we can break down 316 a little bit more. I know that there's going to be more news about it. So yeah, man, going to be good. All right, cool. I don't know if you lot got. I don't know if you lot saw as well. Did you guys ever see? I don't really watch streamers. The only guy I watch stream, like I said, is Myron. But I don't know if you guys saw I saw clips of Aiden Ross and Sean Strickland chilling together. Did you see it? Yeah, it was fucking funny, innit, bro? Bro, it's like fucking Sean Strickland's obviously like some badass redneck, and then fucking Aiden Ross has just been like he's like let's just say he's been babied his whole life. Like, he didn't know how to start off a bike. He didn't know how to ride a bike. He dropped the bike. Like, it was fucking funny, man. But yeah, that was a good. Maybe we'll react to a few of the clips on that next stream. So here, guys, I do have the Aquanaut, right? So it's grown by Be Easy. I've seen like a few clips of this Be Easy guy talking on podcasts. I think I saw, what's the strain that Be Easy had? Was it the zebras? Yeah, it was the zebras, right? And And Be Easy is that bald guy who talks a little funny, right? And he talks about like he was the star of the like hype. He talks out mad shit. Like honestly, like look, people who know who's people who are like big in the cannabis industry in America will tell you like, you know, like the Brits, I wouldn't say put on a lot of the American brands, but we were definitely here from the start. I don't really remember this Be Easy guy, but you know, big props to him. Like a lot of these stuff's going around at the moment. The Zebras wasn't bad. I never did a review on it, but I actually remember smoking it. It was actually, it was good. It was nice. It was a nice Z. So today we're doing the Aquanaut. For people who don't know, an Aquanaut is a watch made by Patek Philippe. I actually have an Aquanaut myself. So I don't know if I like the name of the strain, honestly. I don't know, naming a strain an Aquanaut is like, I don't know, like imagine bringing out a strain called Daytona. I don't know, does it go? Sounds a little weird, right? I don't really like it if you want me to be honest with you, but all right, cool. So he's got a picture of a green Aquanaut there. Be Easy Aquanaut, grown exclusively by Elusive. Be Easy Aquanaut, always sold out. Fire your plug, smoking 100%. Okay, and then they've got a little sticker at the top, plain black jar. I actually have no clue about what the genetics are. Fades, do you want to just check and try and see if there's any information on what the genetics are? So yeah, guys, I'm gonna start off with the packaging. The packaging to me is alright. Like it could be a lot more clearer and cleaner. I don't really like the Aquanaut name. I don't really like comparing a watch to like strain. Like I don't know, it's just not really my cup of tea. But it's alright. I like the coloring. Yeah. So look, packaging wise, I'll just give it a 5 out of 10, man. 5 out of 10. So average packaging, right? And then we're gonna open it up and take a smell before we even look at the bud. Okay. To me, I'm not gonna lie, the smell is very, very, very disappointing. Very disappointing. And I'll tell you why. It doesn't smell bad, but it just smells like lemon cherry, man. It literally just smells like lemon cherry gelato. And it's like, I don't know, man. I don't want to see no more people grabbing lemon cherry fucking gelato, repackaging it, you know, calling it Aquanaut, and then fucking, you know, it's deceiving, man. It's deceiving. I don't like it. I don't like the marketing. I feel like it should have just at least said on it, like, you know, it is a lemon cherry gelato. At least the people who are buying it don't feel like they would have been tricked into it, you know? All right, cool. Let's look at the nugs. Yeah, it kind of looks like a lemon cherry as well. Yeah, it kind of looks like a lemon cherry as well, I'd say. Yeah, I'd say, yeah, lemon cherry. That's what it is. If I had to guess, that's what it is, lemon cherry. All right, cool. So I'd say the smell, you know, it smells good for a lemon cherry. Not amazing, but it smells all right for a lemon cherry. I'll probably give it a 5 out of 10 for smell. The look, again, it's a lemon cherry. Looks all right for lemon cherry, not as colorful as it can be. I'll probably give the look a 4 out of 10. So packaging 5 out of 10, smell 5 out of 10, look 4 out of 10, and let's spark it up and see how it burns and tastes. All right. Where's the light? All right. All right, it's here. So yeah, guys, we're gonna be reacting to a lot more videos going forward. The streams are gonna be a lot more well thought out. We're gonna bring on a few guests for a few of the streams as well.
This is a Z-Cross.
Is it Z-Cross?
Undisclosed Z-Cross.
Undisclosed Z-Cross? I don't know, man. No, I think he's lying, bro. I don't know, man. Look, if it's a Z-Cross, yeah, it might be like a Z-Cross lemon cherry. But like I can smell a lot more lemon cherry than Z. Honestly, I don't know if it's just me, but I can't really smell much Z. I don't know, you'll see the buds at the end, but Yeah, I don't know. All right, cool. Let's spark it up because if there is Z in it, I'll definitely be able to taste it. So yeah, that is the Aquanaut, ladies and gentlemen. All right, cool. UFC. Who's watching UFC this weekend? Going to be an epic one. I'm watching it with my cousin and my boy Omar. Omar, I don't know if I actually haven't posted about him, but my boy Omar does Muay Thai and he was teaching me a lot of Muay Thai the other day, and yeah, man, he's great at it. So maybe what I'll do is maybe I'll have a little friendly sparring with him and maybe like stream that as well. I think you guys might like that. So all right, cool. As we spark up that, we can talk about UFC 316. So on 316, we have the rematch. Merab v Sugar O'Malley. We have Juliana Pena v Kayla Harrison. We have Joe Pyfer v Kevin Gastelum. We have Mario Bautista v Patchy Mix. And we have Vincente Luque v Kevin Holland. I'm not going to lie, it's a little bit of an underwhelming card. Like, look, I know if you look at June as a whole, June does have good fights. But yeah, this card could be a little better. You know, a lot of people are not really looking forward to the main event. A lot of people think that Merab is just going to maul Sugar O'Malley just like the first fight. I'm hoping like the changes that Sugar O'Malley's done, you know, he stopped jerking off. He stopped smoking weed. He stopped social media. And he's been working a lot on his wrestling. So I don't know. I'm hoping all these changes that he's implementing, he's able to sniper up Merab, you know, catch him on the chin and take him out, man. Because even in the last round of the last fight, Sean did start getting a little bit more success. But in general, it was a dominant performance by Merab. Going forward, I do think that Sugar O'Malley's going to give it a better shot. Obviously, he's had hip surgery now, which he said he couldn't wrestle before. And yeah, like I said, he's implemented a lot of changes. So I'm going to go with Sugar O'Malley on this one, even though I know Merab's going to be a heavy favourite. Next up, we have Juliana Pena v Kayla Harrison. A battle of the monster chicks, right? Two big-ass chicks. I'm pretty sure like they're both like 5'11" or something. Maybe a little bit shorter. Let me check one sec. But yeah, so Kayla Harrison, obviously she'd come over from the PFL and, you know, she's won all her matches in the UFC since she's come over. And, you know, she's hyped to be one of the best fighters, women fighters ever, which Ali Abdel... Oh, shit, what am I talking about, bro? She's not even that tall, bro. She's only 5'8". Well, actually, one sec. It's just 5'8". 5'7". 5'8", 5'7". I don't know why, but when I look at Kayla Harrison, she just looks bigger to me. 1 minute, how big is Amanda Nunes then? I feel like Amanda Nunes is taller than that though. Oh, Amanda Nunes is 5'8" then. All right, cool. So yeah, I guess they're not that big of girls, but they're big girls, you know. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I think I like it because they're both good at grappling. However, I do think Kayla Harrison's gonna get the win. I do see her getting the win in that one. Okay, let's spark up this as well quick. And if you guys have any questions to ask before I end the stream, which we're going to end after this, send over to Trev now in the chat, and yeah, I'll answer them. Also, make sure, please go like, subscribe on YouTube. You know what? Go and like, subscribe also at The Real Natch as well and The Natural Effect. We're going to be using both of the YouTube channels going forward, but obviously we're going to be more on The Natural Effect, but we will be using The Real Natch as well. And yeah, we're also going to be on Rumble. We're on Rumble. I spoke politically as much as I could speak today on YouTube. I think that's as deep as I can go on YouTube. But if we're going to go any deeper and actually go into it and break it all down, we're going to have to be on Rumble. Next up, we have my twin, Kelvin Gastelum v Joe Pyfer. This one, I am going to go with Joe Pyfer. Reason being, I think Kelvin just lacks discipline. You know, he's missed weight a few times. He doesn't seem to be training hard. He's always in and out of the MMA scene. But he is a great fighter. You know, even remember the fight against Adesanya. He's had a lot of great other fights. He's well all-rounded. He's good on the ground. As someone who's so short and stocky, he's got extremely good striking. But I do think that Joe Pyfer's going to get the win. I think he's just simply too big for him. He's been too active. And when you're not active in fighting, I think it definitely bites you in your ass. Next up, we have Mario Bautista against Patchy Mix. So Mario Bautista was meant to fight Chito Vera, right? And Chito Vera dropped out from an injury. I don't know much about Patchy Mix. Don't know much about him. I'm pretty sure he come from Bellator or PFL, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know much about him, so I can't really talk on it. So that one, honestly, I can't tell you whether Mario Bautista or Patchy Mix is going to win. You guys let me know. But I'm not going to lie. Even though Mario Bautista is a winner, I'm not the greatest fan of his fighting style. I find him very boring. And next up, on the first fight of the main card, we have Vicente Luque against Kevin Holland. You know, you have two guys with double-digit losses, but at the same time, they both have a lot of wins. Vicente Luque is 23-10, Kevin Holland 27-13. You know, they're guys who, I would say they're equally yoked. I'd say they're both decent standing. I would say that Kevin Holland is a little bit better than Vicente Luque standing. And I'd say that Luque is a little bit better than him on the ground. But we've seen Kevin Holland really work on his ground game recently, as, you know, he hates being wrestled over and over again. So I think this one's going to be an epic fight. And honestly, I'm going to go with Kevin Holland getting the win. Okay, so sparked up this Aquanaut. The burn on the Aquanaut, I give the burn a 7 out of 10. The burn's not too bad. It's got an oil ring, decently white ash, not completely, a little bit peppery, but like salt and peppery, but mainly white, to be honest. Bro, I just can't taste no Z. Maybe like the littlest hint. I don't know if it's because that we've said it now, it's like playing in my mind and maybe I can taste a little bit of Z. But it's definitely more dominant in lemon cherry. Doesn't taste bad if you want me to be honest with you. But for how much I think I paid, I don't know if it's worth it, honestly. Like, I'm pretty sure it was like 400 and something the zip. Like, I don't think I think it's definitely not worth that much. However, so for burn, I gave it a 7. And for taste, I'm also giving it... No, do you know what? Taste, I'll give it a 7.4. So overall, for the Aquanaut from Be Eazy, I'll give it an overall a 6.2 out of 10. And that's my 2 reviews from today. You know, we've broken down a lot today, man. How long are we into the stream? Just under 2 hours. All right, cool. And like I said before, guys, once we get more popular and we get more viewers and, you know, we keep growing, we know we're growing at the moment, but we're growing slowly. But we are growing. That's the most important thing. Eventually, when we have that growth spurt, I will be doing 4 or 5 hour streams where I'll be here near enough all day for you guys. We'll uncover a lot more topics. I'll go into more depth with all the topics. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Make sure you follow, subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at The Real Natch. Follow all the other accounts on Instagram at the Natural Effect Podcast and at the TNE_podcast. Also, my brand pages at nature_boys__. So yeah, that's pretty much the stream for today, guys. We covered politics. We covered a lot of Israel and Palestine, a little bit of Ukraine and Russia. And yeah, we went very deep into breakups and understanding that female nature and navigating through dating. Let me know if you enjoyed the stream. Drop me down a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you thought of the stream. Drop me a like. Appreciate you guys. And I'll probably see you guys either tomorrow or Wednesday. I'll either stream tomorrow or Wednesday. And I know going forward, things are going to be a lot more like planned. Like, I don't know exactly what days. But kind of right now, we're kind of like freestyling it on depending on the day that we are free, depending on when the news comes out, etc. Guys, I appreciate you. Appreciate you guys being with me today. Hope you enjoyed the stream. And I'll catch you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.